Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Another wonderful Wednesday. Oh, my God. I'm so glad it's hump day, baby. Let's get it started.
Mike the camel works for Thermaltake. Builds them all. Big or small, doesn't matter what it takes. Let's have waffles till the world stops turning. Mike. Mike. The camel.
Coming for you, Cyber. I'm coming. You can't defeat me.
It's a hump day on a Wednesday. It's a hump day. Oh, woo, starting again on a Wednesday, hump day. Yeah, on a Wednesday, hump day, baby, baby. On a Wednesday, hump day. Yeah, on a Wednesday, hump day, baby. On a Wednesday, hump day, baby. On a Wednesday.
All right, everybody. It's Wednesday. You know what that means? Exclamation mark waffle. Waffle up, baby. We'll get started here real soon.
Big hump, big bite, name Mike, sun bright, sand in my kicks, but I walk so light, got a crate full of better and my grill on high. Every Wednesday morning they line outside, they don't come for the coffee, they come for the ride. I'm the camel with the lettuce and the syrup on the side. It's hump day. Waffle up if you got the stuff. Waffle up. Mike and the dudes turn breakfast to a sport that's tough. We ain't got no pancakes here, just squares soaking up that love. It's hump day. Waffle up if you got the stuff. Hey, I play shows in the Shea logo on the stage, Thermaltake lights up, whole crowd in the blaze, fans chant Mike K every time that I raise another gold waffle to the sky like praise. Got crumbs in my beer, syrup drip on my chain, got a lot of cool camels trying to get in my lane. I just laugh, flip better, let them taste the flame. If you roll with the herd, better know the name. Mike, it's hump day. Waffle up if you got the stuff. Waffle up. Mike and the dudes turn breakfast to a sport that's tough. We ain't got no pancakes here, just squares soaking up that love. It's hump day. Waffle up if you got the stuff. Left hump, right hump, throw your hands up. Hands up. If you're riding midweek and you never tap out. Never. If your team waffle, let me hear you shout. Shout. Waffle up, that's what we about. It's hump day. Waffle up if you got the stuff. Waffle up. Mike and the
Wednesday morning, alarm clock rings. Gotta get up to my own things, jump out of bed. Feeling
What up, everybody?
just one question
Welcome
to
back
ask the week.
to another wonderful Wednesday.
Typical day,
Got your boy ThermalMike here, holding it down for you halfway through that glorious week.
waffle giveaway.
I mean, we're already in May for 2026. What is going on? Hope everybody enjoyed some tacos yesterday for Cinco de Mayo. I know I did. Let's go. Chewy Kids coming in. Appreciate the prime. Thank you so much. Waffle up if you got the stuff. Let's go. Let's go, you guys. Oh, man, we got a good one today. We're going to be hopefully wrapping up our Vision 330 AIO build today. I really like the case. I think it comes in at a fantastic price point, and the fantastic part does have to do with the fact that the case comes with 6 fans right inside the box. Plus, it's got a very cool, more premium fish tank style with a cool one-piece curved tempered glass panel on a swing door. Pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy, but yeah, hopefully we'll be wrapping that guy up today. Have a good amount of fun with it next week. We got 3 more streams before Computex, man. We're gonna be traveling all that way, the other side of the world, going to Taiwan for Computex 2026. Let's go. Berg Bees are coming in with the 33 months. Thank you, Mr. Berg. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Ben, good to see you. Good to see you. Yo, yo. Celebrating Cinco de Drinko. Hell yeah. I'd drink to that, my friend. Hell yeah. Yeah, I hope you guys are all good. We're going to have a fun show today. Hopefully wrapping up that Vision 330 like I was saying. And of course, don't forget to get in on some of them waffles, you guys. Exclamation mark waffle. If you are in the chat and you are a meat popsicle, no robos here. No beep boops. None of that clanker stuff. Oh man, good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. Moo Moo, back to you. Get in on that waffle, baby. Let's go. Good luck, you guys. Good luck. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Big prizes await. If you guys have any questions on how that all rolls down, feel free to reach out and ask. No problem. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. All right, let's dive into it. Let's get into it. We got a lot to do today. We got a good bit to do today. I want to get this bad boy finished. We got some cubage to put in here. Have you ever put beer in a PC, bro? We have. We have, and it was glorious. It was amazing. Meat popsicles checking in. Yes, sir. 07 meat popsicles. Let's go. Good. Good. Dude, so I got an email today from Twitch, and we got approved to join their new beta program. And I guess camel vision. You like that? You like what I did there? You like what I did there? We got approved to do their new beta program for dual stream formats, where we can do our standard as well as a vertical format simultaneously. I literally got the notification today, so I'm gonna look into that. I'm kind of curious to see how that would work, because it would be at the same, and then like if you're on mobile, or if you got me one of the million tabs that we all have, or on a TV or wherever. It's crazy to see the analytics of where you guys like to waffle, but it looks pretty interesting. I'm gonna have to take a look at that and see if that's something I can do before, or definitely looking to jump into that after we get back from Computex. But I'm pretty stoked about that. That's kind of cool. I heard about it a while ago, but then like it was, well, look, where did I think, oh, I have to open up Twitch, huh? Hold on. I have to like actually go to Twitch, I think, to see this. 1 second here. Where was it? Oh yeah, it was dual format, dude. Check this out. So Twitch is rolling out a beta program for dual format streaming on Twitch. I don't know if you guys, I think you guys can see this. I don't know. The dual format streams allow streamers to broadcast in both horizontal, which is what we do now, which is like the traditional way, or a vertical for a mobile optimized format at the same time. At the same time. This is really, really interesting when you look at like how like this would be set up. Like this is like OBS Studio, and then you'd have this and then this over here. I actually have used a vertical plugin for other things, but more for video use, not for streaming use. But I thought this was kind of cool, and I signed up for this. I don't even remember. It was a while ago. I signed up for this a while back, and now they're offering it. You know, it's selected. You can go and you can find this. It's on Twitch. It's under their help articles. But look up dual format vertical video. And you can sign up for that if that's something of interest for you to get in on that. But definitely interested in trying this to see, you know, where you could get the different perspectives depending on which way you like to waffle. So I think I'm all about this. And I like how, you know, the normal stuff. I mean, I think most of us are used to this, if it's TikTok or Twitch or YouTube, whatever, and understanding the phone rotation stuff and everything. It's pretty cool. We'll have to see how well it works, though, too. I mean, you need OBS, of course. I mean, you can use Streamlabs and other things like that, too. But, you know, the vertical plugin, they use this one. I don't even know how to pronounce this. iTuum. I use a different one off of, I'm trying to think which one I use, but I use the multi-output one. You know, so we stream to both Twitch and YouTube at the same time, right? And you guys are both in the chats and all that fun stuff. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. Kind of interesting stuff. So we'll have to take a look at that and see what that's all about. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. New stuff. I like new stuff. We'll have to try it out, see what's going on. I mean, it's in beta after all. I think a lot of us here, you know, have done the whole like, hey, I'll play that game if it's in beta. You know, why not? Why not? You know, I want it early. I want it now. So I can completely understand that. Completely understand that. But all right, let's dive into it, shall we? Let's dive into it, shall we? So, you know, I think most of our products that we have launching are more or less out. I don't think we got Waffle Man. I don't think we got anything new per se coming in the next like couple of weeks. So I feel, you know, we can wrap up our vision and with our build that we have here, and we're going to utilize our vision build because we're going to be putting the new Mindcube AIO inside. And I think it'll be a fun use case to play around and talk about some new software updates because, oh my goodness, we have a ton of updates for our software. We've been pumping out new versions. There's new firmware. There's new ways to do things. There's new features that are added. There is so much going on. So definitely going to be looking to square up with you guys on that, just like a waffle, here soon before we take our little break to you know, go to the other side of the world where day is night and night is day. Be a lot of fun. I'm excited. I'm actually like really excited. I've been talking to a lot of media and trying to, you know, schedule all the tech celebrities to come out. The ones with long hair, the ones with short hair, the tall ones, the short ones, you know, all those fun tech guys. It's been quite a schedule, man. It's been quite a schedule. It's a lot of fun though. It's a lot of fun though. I like coordinating all that stuff with those guys. Try to accommodate for them, you know, as far as when they're going to be around the big convention.
Guess what day it
BVM
is?
McDaniel or BV McDaniel.
Hey, guess
Thanks
what
for the
day
tier
it
one
is?
for 28 months. Dude, it's been 28 months, dog. Dude, wow. Thank you, my friend. Heck yeah. Get in on that waffle, man.
For 28
Appreciate it. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy, dude. Over 2 years. Wow. We've been streaming for a bit. Waffles are waffling, right? Everybody's getting in on that waffle. Let's go. All right, cool. Seems like all the gears are hopefully greased well today. Seems like everything's pretty greased up today, so we should be good. It's Wednesday after all. So a couple of new colors, if you guys haven't seen it, our new transformative teal's out. We got 3 different SKUs with that. I'm not sure if we're going to be doing more colors. With Computex being so close, I think you'll get some pretty big updates from us here at Thermaltake over the event for Computex. So stay tuned for all the Waffle wonderfulness as far as what we're going to be presenting over there for the Computex show. But definitely been digging. You know, the TR200 build was good. We didn't get a chance to build in the 300 just yet, so that's always something we can go back on. You know, and take a look at the ATX options with the TR300. Of course, we're building in the Vision. We've done the View 370, the 600. Man, we've done the TR100, View 380. We've covered them all, man. We've covered them all. Need some new cases. I wish I could do a Coralie case and everything. That'd be cool. I mean, it's a TR100. It's just got a really cool paint job. You know what I'm saying? But maybe we'll get one of the green ones too. I mean, it'd be kind of fun to dive back into a Tower 600. Maybe do some fun stuff with that to kind of freshen it up a little bit. But you know, the other thing too that I was thinking about, we have not built in a View 390 in a while. I think we did a water-cooled build. I know my 200 fan friends out there were definitely excited when we did some of that stuff. We did some cooling testing in one of these cases a while back. That was probably like a couple of years now thinking about it. Maybe about a year or so, because this is the updated, newer version. Then this is now also the Air version that we have. And then, of course, then it's in a new color. So maybe the View 390 might be another fun little choice for us to dive into as well. But I'm so excited about what the new stuff is going to be, man. Like, what are we going to have? Are we going to have another tower case? Well, is there going to be a new View? What are we going to do? Are we going to have something different? I mean, it's really exciting with all this, you know, building up. Just think of all the manufacturers and all this stuff going on. And, you know, especially when we're not ones that are tied to, like, any type of board
Mike,
partner.
guess what?
What's
I
up?
just had some Ego waffles with the best butter, Irish butter, Kerrygold, with some syrup. Let's go.
Let's go. The Ego waffles was really a funny TTS, man. That's really funny. Your Ego waffles? I've heard of Kerrygold too. Irish butter, I've heard about that. I mean, dude, butter on a waffle is so freaking good. Now, let's be honest here. If you had a choice between butter or syrup, what would it be? Type 1 if it's butter, type 2 if it's syrup. I'm curious if you had to pick one, would it be butter or syrup? I mean, we all want both. It's kind of like a requirement, but if could you do just butter? I think if I had to, I think I could. But if I had a choice, I'm pretty sure I think I would go syrup all the way. I think I go 2 for syrup, 1 for butter. I think I go 2 for syrup. I really do. I don't know. I guess it depends on the syrup and or the butter. Am I right? You know what I mean? Don't give me any of that spray on butter crap either. I don't want I don't want any of that stuff. And I like a nice thick syrup too. I'm not a runny syrup kind of person. You know what I mean? I want more like, I don't want, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I don't want my syrup to just go running off the side like I poured water on my waffle. Oh yeah, it must be both or bring me death. Exactly, man. The struggles, right? The struggles are real. Ooh, depends on the waffle. I can understand that too. I can definitely understand. Nobody likes a hard, crunchy waffle, man. Am I right? And no, I know. It's just funny how it said it and everything, Dorian. It's all good, dude. It's all good. I knew exactly what you meant. Are you kidding me? But I mean, I would say, yeah, I would definitely say syrup over butter, sadly. But, you know, we put butter in a PC, we put syrup in a PC. So I would say both. We could go both either way. It's kind of funny that we've actually put both in a same freaking PC. It's quite crazy, man. It's quite crazy. Real maple syrup from Quebec. Well, I mean, you know, Mrs. Buttersworth has a word with you. You know what I mean? That's my favorite there. Shout out to Mrs. Buttersworth. Better not change that bottle. Love that lady. She's the best. Oh man. But yeah, today we're building in the Vision 330 today. This is an ARGB case. I think one of the things that I like about this case the most is like when you're looking to build a PC right now. If you're I'm not going to say it's easy to build a PC right now, but if you're looking to build a PC right now, you might want to try to save a little bit. And I think this is one of the perfect cases that we've offered for some good cost savings. I mean, $100 case comes with 6 fans pre-installed, minus the wires and a little bit of a rat's nest, which I feel a lot of us can deal with. Might not be ideal, but we could deal with that. But when you think about it, right, all you really need to do is get an AIO, and all AIOs come with 3 fans or 2 fans, depending on what AIO you would buy, right? And you're looking to only more or less get an AIO, and your cooling is done, and your case is done. Kind of makes it a little bit easier. And on top of that, you get an excellent view. I like the little swing door. It's actually, I mean, it's a big piece of glass. Let's be honest. I'm glad it's not a full tower case. I mean, hey, things could always be bigger, am I right? But like, it's got a very unique look to it. And I do like just this being just seamless right here on the corner. And it gives that cool little like, that curved glass look to it, man. It's really, really cool. Of course, this is an ATX case. Has some good options for storage. It's a dual chamber, so power supply's in the back. You got a lot of nice room in the back. And I think today we'll be wrangling some cables as we get our power supply installed and then go through all those other connections that we need to do. One of the things I also noticed too that I really like about this case is a backwards connector board, you know, like a BTF, Project Zero, you know, those motherboards with the connectors on the other side, right? Really shines in this case a lot because you don't have to plug anything in the front. It doesn't block with the fans, as we talked about last week there with that, not just with the standoffs, but with some of the cable management. And I found that going with a backwards board on this one really improved a lot of just the ease of building for me. So if a backwards board is something that is on the horizon or something you're looking into, or if you already have one and you're looking to get like a new case, which I would say is kind of iffy because it's such a new tech, you know, it's new stuff that's come out. But I definitely favor a backwards connector board in this case. It really cleans up nicely too there with that as well. But boy, did I spend a good amount of time cleaning up some of these cables. I mean, you got the backwards connector support. It's crazy that it comes with 6 fans for $100. For $100, it's $99.99. You can buy it here today. We have it in 2 different colors. I don't know if we're going to do colors in this particular model. I think we've kind of just took a step back a little bit on colors because I've been seeing a lot of black and white. I think you guys have too. I mean, we did do the transformative teal with those 3 limited SKUs. We could expand on that, but we'll see how the market goes. Let's see how the market goes. Rob coming in says, if only it could be the old View 71 Snow. It was a big case. Yeah, and I mean, that is definitely a bigger case. I mean, that's a custom water cooling case. And then those, I would say I have not seen as many in the market as like new stuff, right? But like, dude, I'm always waiting for that roller coaster, that wave to come up and down, you know what I mean? As far as where DIY cooling goes, you know, getting back into those kind of things. I mean, AIO is very strong right now. I mean, it's just, you look at the way stuff is set up, and then the availability and everything does affect a good bit on that too, you know what I mean? But like, I would say the View 71, like the View 600 was probably the next step for it. Personally, I still, the View 71's got a nice little place in my heart. I loved that case. That was a really fun case for us to launch. But like, dude, you know, not every case can be a banger. You know what I mean? You gotta branch out a little bit. You gotta take some risks, try some different stuff. I mean, having a 1-piece tempered glass curved panel like this is not easy to do. And I would say we were not necessarily the pioneers, but like very early on with case design offering curved tempered glass panels. I mean, from the P3, when we did the curved version to all this, where they were experimenting with this new stuff, like you can bend something and then temper it, and it doesn't break? Like, you know what I mean? Like, because you can't temper something and then bend it. That doesn't work. You have to bend it first and then temper it and then hope the tempering process doesn't crack because you bent the glass. You know what I mean? It's definitely different than dealing with acrylic. Let's be honest, right? But very cool feature. I love seeing that this is becoming more mainstream. I've seen this out there from others as well, doing like, you know, curved glass options and everything. Of course, the case has a lot of nice little fun filtering funness.
Hey, you like waffles too?
Bacon! Dude, it's been 43 months? Damn, bro. Dude.
Wow, 43
Wow.
months. Wow.
Wow. Thanks, man. Appreciate the 43, dog. That is a long freaking time, man. All the support, dog. I appreciate it, man.
Halfway done.
And then, yeah, if you guys want to know a little bit more about the case, we have our full details here on the website. If you want to take a look at like how many fans, where it can go, what AIOs, where they can go. We have a nice little simple breakdown here on this. And then, of course, you know, if you want to go a little bit further and see some of the details and everything, feel free to download the manual. I mean, of course, it comes in the box, but maybe you want to know a little bit about it pre-sales wise. We do have all of our manuals for our cases on our website. So if there's something you want to look at, we have a lot of dimensions and sizes and everything. And I think for some people, when they're planning out their builds, you know, certain things, I mean, we talk about EATX and the different variances there and all that, but we don't have to worry about that. This is an ATX case, but it's like, can I fit EATX? And they're like, those different kind of things were like, what's the space? How big of a graphics card can I fit? How fat of a graphics card can I fit? So I think a lot of that kind of stuff really falls in the details on the manual. If you guys want to know more about what and where and how and who and why. All the things, you know what I mean? But yeah, some good stuff, man. Some good stuff. But yeah, dude, Computex right around the corner, bro. It's gonna catch up here so quick. So freaking quick. Oh, getting close to 3 years. I know, man. That's wild, dude. Wait, 36 is 3 years. You mean 4? 4 years? Crazy, dude. We have fun waffling, don't we? We have some fun waffling, don't we? I do enjoy a good waffle here and there. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, welcome everybody. Hope everybody is doing good. We're hoping to wrap up our nice little Vision case we got here. It's a mid-tower case, ATX form factor, dual chamber case. We got a little bit done. We were talking a lot last week, so I got to catch up a little bit here and, you know, get back into building a little bit. But I think we've been having a lot of fun. I've been having a lot of fun, man. Breaking up the week, dude. 36 is 3 years. Yeah, I know, but it said 43. Wait, am I tripping? Either way, my friend, that's a lot of waffles. Holy wowzers. Wowzers. But like, I am a big fan of like these mid-tower dual chamber cases. I've had big ones. I've had small ones. I mean, you know, from CTE to the View 71, a lot of those big full tower cases. I definitely have been a full tower fan for a long time. And it's not that I'm necessarily trying to shrink down what I'm doing. It's just I like the layouts of the way a dual chamber mid tower works versus more of a traditional mid tower case, to be clear. And I feel that dual chamber cases have a nice purpose for the builder, as well as just giving you some nice ease of expansion for just a lot of things. You know what I mean? Like if you're going to throw some weird RGB in there, screens, you got controllers, cables, you know, whatever you're going to want to put. There is a heap of room back here, and you can think a lot of it for like being a dual chamber case where it's a little bit wider. So the power supply can go there in the back, but it sure does give a nice presentation up front with the case. I mean, like the days of power covers and PSUs being in this particular section are a thing of the past. I mean, we've had power supplies up here. We've had power supplies down here. Now that the graphic cards are so large, there was nowhere else that we had to move it into the back seat. It needed to go back here. You know what I mean? You guys wanted the room, and we wanted the cooling support. I mean, you can't just slam something that big and then expect it. You know, you got to have proper cooling for it and everything like that too. But I think this style that's I guess pretty trendy. I think a lot of people like. I mean, the dual chamber style of like a good mid tower case, giving you an ATX form factor, really kind of hits a lot of the boxes for many people. That as far as what they're looking for, you know, in a PC. And of course, you know, us here at Thermaltake, we have several Thermaltake mid tower, full tower, SFF, all the fun stuff, all in between. Lots of options for you there, you know, here with us at Thermaltake. But these dual chamber mid tower cases have definitely been something a little extra special for me. I'm in the View 380 at home, and I'm loving it. I got the matcha one. I love the matcha color. That was one of my little favorite there, you know. Good to see you, Ben. Hope you've been good, my friend. Good to see you. Welcome back. But yeah, like mid tower cases and everything, I feel fit a good you know, a good amount of space on the desk. I don't think it's looking like where you have to worry about too much height with things, and still be able to pack in a good amount of cooling and support for what you're looking to do. And then now there's just a lot of different flavors out there, colors, you know, styles, and everything. So there's certain points that you want to kind of take a look at if you're looking to venture into a new case. And we're definitely going to try to do our best here to walk you through the rest of the build process on our View 330. Sorry, Vision 330. Let me correct myself. See, I've been talking a lot of View stuff. We were talking about, I keep thinking View 71, man. It's a great case, dude. It's a great case. I love it. I love it. But yeah, what new stuff will we have at Computex here in about a month? I mean, literally, we will be in Taiwan doing the show for the most part. It'd be going on about this week in about a month. So it'll be pretty crazy, man. Pretty crazy. I got so much to do. So much to do besides just getting media to come to the booth and come hang out and say, hey, what's up, Mike? Oh, yeah. You know, I love that. It's probably one of my favorite parts of the job. But being able to deliver like all the new stuff, you know, I love talking about new things, man. I love being that day one, the crispness. It's like a fresh waffle right out of the iron, man. You're like, here, bro, and you're like, oh my God. It was kind of like me when I was eating my tacos last night, you know, for Taco Tuesday. You know what I mean? Happy Cinco de Mayo, everybody. Let's go. Also waiting on that TG Cross dual PC case. Dude, I'm excited. I am definitely excited for that TG Cross dual PC. That thing was such a hit at CES. I'm super excited for it. I mean, I know with a lot of stuff going on in the world today, it wasn't something that was going to be done. I mean, it wasn't necessarily final at CES, but more of like a first look per se. But I pretty confident to say we'll probably have a final version at Computex, and there might be a couple of changes to it, kind of, you know, get some feedback from our viewers, from the media, from our partners, right? As we stretch that, like, hey, here's a new one. You know, what do you think? And, you know, I think we'll have that final version for that there, as well as some of the other cases that we more or less showed as a first look for CES. So it's kind of trendy with a lot of what we do, where we'll come out with that final version, hopefully have some launch dates for you and some pricing. So definitely excited for that. Is there any news on the TG Cross? And yes, it's definitely still in the works. Definitely expect an update from us at Computex, or, you know, you'll be seeing those videos from your favorite media tech guys out there. They're going to be coming by. We got a lot of peeps coming by, so I'll definitely do my best as ThermalMike to spread the word so you guys can see all the latest from what Thermaltake has to offer at Computex, man. But yeah, definitely TG Cross is going to be there, man. I am super excited for it. Oh, nothing like some fresh, cold coolant to start your Wednesday, you know what I mean? Or guys, it's halfway through the Wednesday, you know what I mean? Some of us, it's a little bit later, you know what I mean? But yeah, so last week we left off with getting the motherboard installed, talking about the fan configurations and kind of just, what's the best way to go 1, 2, 3 with this case. And what obstacles can you run into installing this first versus that? And where do I go? Like, Mike, tell me, like, what matters to me, Mike? Where do I need to start with this, and how do we go through with the process? Now, to kind of recap a little bit, not to be too Dragon Ball Z-ish with you guys, but to recap a little bit with you, installing the motherboard is usually one of the things that we like to do first. It kind of gives us an idea to kind of mock up things like our GPU to kind of see where it's all going to fit, and then just kind of see where our clearances are going to go, kind of brainstorm some cable management ideas and everything. And I mean, as you can see here too, and we talked about this last week, where how the board, you look in that back little corner there, you can see the board does go all the way to the floor of the case. So one thing that I would recommend, and this is what I figured out too, was that you don't necessarily have to remove all 3 fans, but just pop the middle one out. So I found that if I just took the middle fan out, 4 screws from the bottom, and I left it connected, just kind of scooched it over to the side, gave me proper access to those 2 leftover standoffs out of the 9 total that the case offers, and then just slap the fan back in. It also gave me some nice little ways to kind of route my cables as far as what I was going to do behind the little fan wall that we have back here, and figure out a good little routing way to be able to kind of sneak these guys around the corner. I mean, it was kind of a bird's nest last week, and it was one thing that I was kind of thinking, I was like, whoa, man, I could see some people looking at this and going like, man, that's a lot of cables. I don't know where I'm going to put things and what I'm going to do. So I put my thermal cap on and started thinking about it a little bit. And, I used a couple of the zip ties that came with the case, per se. And I found some neat little ideas. I mean, one, you have a lot of perforation here on the bottom of the floor, which is perfect for adding a zip tie. And you could use that to more or less, if you can kind of see, secure down the cables, and you can really kind of get those cables locked in. But I would recommend, with the way this is designed, since it's not like a magnet type of fan like we would have here on our Minecube type of option, that you might not want to tie everything down. So I left some of this stuff more or less loose, but I did put a zip tie in here to kind of clean up the bundle a little bit. So that way, if I do have to take these fans out, if I just want to do some simple cleaning of them, as far as my maintenance, after build, I mean, I'm not really kind of shooting myself in the foot here by putting 12 zip ties to hold these cables down that don't really necessarily matter. But I did also take advantage of the way the case is designed here on the back. There's a lot of pin or, zip tie connections. I mean, you can see a good amount of these. They're all throughout the case, going along the bottom row here, as well as just on the other side there, because we still have the 24 pin to put in, EPS and all that. And you want a good place to kind of secure and get some stuff locked down, minus just, our front cables that we still have to do for our top panel IO, not necessarily front panel IO, but right here on the top for like our Type-C, USB 3 and everything. So plenty of room. You don't have to be a cable management expert to be able to build in this case, but boy, does it make it a lot more efficient by having a backwards connector board there, where everything's more or less going to plug in on the back here, and we're just going to get a very nice clean front display here on the case. So definitely giving you the vision of the 330 here with the case. So I mean, personally, if you want to take that middle fan out first, that might be a good option for you to do before installing the motherboard in. Another fun little tip as well is that if your cooler comes with any type of back plate option, you can definitely pre-install that into the motherboard before putting it into the case. You can definitely do it afterwards. You do have a storage caddy here on the top that supports two and a half or 3.5 HDD hard drives here on the back. But the nice thing about this thing is this is removable here. There is just a couple of screws here to be able to take that out, and probably be one of the next things that I would kind of jump into, just so I had some extra room with installing my power supply, routing my cable management too, because the caddy itself will be a good way to kind of hide some of my cables and everything like that. But at the same time too, it can kind of hinder plugging in stuff like the EPS connector and everything. But I mean, a couple of screws, take this bad boy out, and you have plenty of wiggle room, and definitely a much better experience. So we're gonna go ahead and pull the caddy out of this bad boy here now, just so that I have a little bit of room. I took it out earlier actually as I was playing around with some of these cables and stuff like that. But you know, definitely gonna show you. I mean, like, you're gonna get this with this all pre-installed, and it's like, well, hey, you know, this thing's removable, right? I mean, I'd say most cases do offer that convenience, because it is nice to have a storage tray that's removable, so I can then install my hard drive onto the cage and then kind of put that in there, and it gives me a nice little way to, you know, just kind of route all of you know, my SAT and my power, and kind of figure out what I'm gonna do. Maybe more or less one of the later steps in the build, but definitely something that you can utilize if you're just gonna go with flash storage with M.2s and you don't really have too much more on the storage things and everything like that. I mean, I could easily see somebody just popping this out. Granted, there's gonna be a power supply that's going to take up a good amount of real estate back here with the cables, and of course the big box and everything. But either way, as far as plugging in my cables and or installing my power supply, this is just a couple of screws, and it makes a nice convenience to just pop that bad boy out before going on with the next steps, you know? Some good stuff. You know, you need room. I like wiggle room. I like to be able to not feel limited because it's a weird shape, or it's this doesn't come off or that doesn't come off. I mean, almost everything comes off except for the freaking motherboard tray. You know what I mean? Waffle Wednesday. Yeah. We're gonna have to make waffles on stream again, man. I missed that episode where we got to make waffles on stream. That was so much fun. Wasn't that fun? That was a good one, man. Very tasty. Very tasty. I better not do that. I'm gonna lose that. That cable's gonna come off. Let's just put it over this way. All right. So cable wise and everything, you do got a little bit to deal with. I mean, I kind of made this as clean as possible, but didn't really connect anything up. I did kind of go through the bundle and kind of just reconfigure some things, kind of wrap my cables this way and that way. I wanted to try to clean up a little bit, at least separate out my ARGB from my PWM, you know, double checking all my connectors, making sure everything was good from the factory when it was built, and just making sure, you know, I'm just hoping that we'll get a nice post and first boot up with everything working, you know what I mean? But yeah, ARGB here, of course, on the side, as well as PWM, and then all those connections are going to go right down here on the bottom. So we got all that fun stuff to plug in. I also got the front panel connectors to deal with and figure out how we're going to do some routing. But nice big pocket here on the back. If I kind of lift this up, there is a nice room, nice little space to tuck right here, if you feel me on that. And it even has, like, there's like a little bar right here. I could easily put a zip tie around this, amongst some of the other tie points that I have there. But there is a good amount here on the side of the motherboard, ideally where a lot of cable connections go. I feel it favors more for motherboards that have connectors on the front side versus the back side. But you know, we're kind of offering that universal compatibility there with, you know, trying to create like a universal ATX form factor case. We're just giving you the best of both sides, you know what I mean? But you still need a place to kind of mount your cable. I definitely got some options here to make it less cumbersome on the amount of zip ties. Butterbrain Brian, thank you for the waffle, man. That's a cool name. It's a cool name. Butter or syrup? Yeah, so I was kind of looking at this. I kind of routed this here nicely. I put a zip tie here on the back side to kind of keep it tight in the front, so that way it didn't kind of like pop up. And I'm literally just have this little cable that kind of went there. It was the one thing that was kind of bugging me on my first initial look at the case. I was like, oh man, there's a lot of cables and everything, but how do I clean this up? And then I also kind of thought about it too. I am going to be putting a fairly large graphics card here in the case as well. I mean, the case can definitely support even bigger cards, surprisingly enough, but it's also going to take up a good amount of that space that I'm going to have here on this and take away a lot of, I mean, if anything, it's going to more or less hide it when you're looking at the case from a normal perspective, which is usually about like right there, maybe a little bit from the front, but I think I minimized down that cable mesh. And that was the one thing that I was kind of like, you know, it'd be cool if they were all magnetic cables for all the fans, but then that would definitely affect the price because again, it's $100 case. It comes with 6 ARGB fans. And I mean, these are our newer fans that we have. Definitely a cost down version, but we are selling a 3-pack of the same CT Infinity or SWA Infinity fans on our website. You can buy as a 3-pack, but those run at $90 for a 3-pack. So just think there's like in a way, there's like $180 worth of fans in here. But again, they're not the magnetic fans, but they do have the same look to them. They have the infinity mirror both on the hub as well as on the side, so it's not really cutting down a lot on that stuff. And I'm kind of excited to see what this is all going to kind of you know come up with. I think the only other thing that we kind of did to keep it in a cost savings environment is that these are intake only. Same with these here on the side, and you got the one exhaust out the back. So they don't come with the replacement blades like the standalone 3-packs do, and they are also just daisy chain hardwired. So it does try to kind of keep the cost down and everything, but I'm still impressed with this case being $100, coming with 6 fans, pretty much ready to go out of the box for cooling. You just slap in an AIO or get an air cooler and a couple of fans for the top, I would say at least. And, you know, just gets because you just want a little bit more exhaust. Because just understand, these are going to be intake here on the side as well as on the bottom, and you only get 1 exhaust fan out the back. So definitely suggest having those 3 exhaust fans out the top. I feel that's what most will do if they're looking to purchase this case with like a 360 style AIO, and then you'll have those 3 fans right there as well. So. But we do have the fans to sell if you want to match and have them match up. The only nice part about it is, I mean, the nice part is they're going to look exactly the same, but they're going to give you the magnetic connection to it. The downside is they're a little bit more expensive if you're going to want to add to match that there with the case, almost costing the price of the case itself, right? So it kind of gets interesting. It kind of gets interesting when you start thinking about the dollars and cents with it and all that, but either way, I'm just glad it's not like $150 or like $200 where we're like, oh yeah, it comes with those same fans, you know, they're $90 and this is now a $200+ case. You know what I'm saying? And we're pushing those fans on you guys with that because that's not something I would normally say we do. I mean, some cases come with no fans. We've done that. We also have some cases that'll come with like maybe 1 or 2 because we know a lot of people want to put their own, you know, it's your mod your way, your fan your way, but we're just trying to see if this might be something that would make it a little bit easier for somebody that's on a budget. And I think that fits a lot. And we giving you a little bit extra there too with the tempered glass and some of the other little looks. So you're not just dealing with just like a straightforward, boring style type of case. You know what I mean? Okay, Colin M coming in with a tier 1 for 8 months. Thank you so much. A waffle on, my friend. Waffle on.
Waffles, Therma 20 waffles.
Appreciate ya. A waffle is never late, pig. A waffle is never late, my friend. A waffle comes and goes as it pleases. Lord of the Rings. Let's go, Lord of the Rings. All right. So we got our motherboard installed. I mean, we have the fans installed because the fans came installed already. What's next? What would be some of the next steps as far as where we would want to go with our Vision 330 build? Now, you definitely kind of got a couple of options. I feel slapping the motherboard in makes good sense for like some of the, well, probably the first thing as far as other component that you're going to put into the case. You also have a nice safe option with slapping the power supply in because it really doesn't hinder anything else, if you can understand. I mean, the only thing to consider with putting the power supply in would be, you know, connecting up stuff if you're going to be using a backwards connector motherboard. But luckily for us, we didn't put the power supply at the bottom. We put the power supply like right here in the middle, where guess what? There's no connectors. So trust us, we thought about these things. You got to think about this kind of stuff. So, and I got one of our newer power supplies. Now, this is kind of cool. This is our new tough power. This is our GF3. This is 850 watt. We have 850. We have 1,000. I believe 1,200 is also in the works as far as, because this one being gold rated. I mean, we have platinum, we have titanium rating. So we got a lot of stuff, but this is one of our newer ATX 3.1, 5.1 power supplies. It's got the cool little matcha connector on it. It doesn't need a particular equalizer or anything. It just works. I've had pretty good results with our Gen 5 cable with a lot of the news that's been going out there, continuing to go out there, right? On Gen 5 this and Gen 5 that. I mean, the media has definitely been hungry with anything and everything news-wise that they can come up with in regards to that Gen 5 cable. Is that Gen 5 cable going to be here forever, you think? Do you think it's going to last as long as, well, I mean, I guess PCIe 8-pin, or it's still around. PCIe is not gone. I mean, I got them right here. So, and that's the other thing I like too, is power supply is going to come with the cables for either way you go. So you'll have PCIe 8-pin and 6-pin options, as well as the new Gen 5. This being the 5.12 with the updated cable would be ideally where I would go. Even if you could get a 3.0 unit on the cheap, the 5.1, or, you know, because you got ATX 3.0 and then 3.1. Then you have 5.0 and 5.1. Now, the 5 part more or less represents the cable itself as far as what tolerances and what changes happened with the cable. And a lot of that is with the 5.1 adjusted how the connector height is as far as it plugging into it. I mean, you could look up all the full details, but in a nutshell, it more or less made this easier to fully insert into the GPU without causing you to have it just a little bit out, where a lot of people had some initial concerns there with that. And, you know, we kind of dyed it matcha green there, so kind of helps. If you don't see the color, then you more or less know that you're doing at least something right, making sure that you fully seat these. But either way, with whatever cable you go, whatever power supply you go with, always double check this Gen 5 connection. I mean, even before the first power on, just give it an extra little push. Make sure this is good, both on the power supply side as well as on the component side. I think one thing I don't talk about too much is that, you know, after you get everything all put together, spend that extra 30 seconds. Spend that extra 30 seconds just checking all your connections. Is that 24-pin fully seated? That's a big chonker of a connection to plug in, right? If it's not something you're doing every day, then it might be something you'd want to double check and just kind of make sure everything's just kind of good. You know, do I have all my stuff kind of plugged in? I mean, fan-wise, if a fan doesn't spin up or it doesn't line up, it's no real big deal, but stuff like power and everything definitely is. So I always do like to double check my connections, especially since most power supplies out there are fully modular nowadays. There definitely is still some semi and full hardwired power supplies out there, but if you are playing around with some modularity and everything, it is always important just to kind of double check on that connection. And I say a lot of that too, because you plug everything in, everything more or less probably connected in just right, but then as you go to the cable management part and you're playing around with cables and stretching them and bending them, because you got to get that zip tie in there. You know, certain things can give a little tug on a connection and everything, and you just definitely want to make sure it fully seats. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but like, if I have a connection like this, I can still, even though it's got the little clip on it, right? Little clip right here, I can still pull this connector in and out like a little bit, right? Like you can feel it. Try it at home. Try it at home. You'll know what I mean. You can kind of feel it a little bit, just a little bit of a pull. So just kind of just giving a little nudge, just give a little push in and everything. Think about the connection on the power supply just as much as you think about the connection to your component. You know what I mean? A pipe has two sides of it. A tube has two sides of it. You got to pay attention to both ends. You know? Sup, nerd? You're just here for the giveaway? You're not here for the waffles? How dare you? No Canadian syrup for you. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. What up, brain? How are you? Oh, okay. Waffles are over. Let's get into let me swap up my audio real quick here, and then we can get back to this building action. Syrup base belongs to us. Okay. Since when did you guys just take full royalties of syrup? All your syrup base belongs to us. No, you can't say that. Let me see. What do I want to do? It's really weird. Like Spotify has what? It has Smart Shuffle, and then it has, what is it? Regular Shuffle. It has like AI shuffling. AI shuffling. We'll go AI shuffling. Let's see what. We'll go a little AI shuffling here. Shuffle this. Whoa, sorry. Turn that down a little bit. There we go. Sticky situation. That's right. You know, next time I see you, we should have a syrup chugging competition to see who wins. He's like, bet. Let's go. Let's have a syrup chugging competition to see who owns the rights to syrup. Yeah, PCIe's. I got 2 extra PCIe's here. We're not going to be using those because we got the Gen 5 on our beautiful Zotac card over there. Molex, of course, tried and true. We need this crap still for Connect controllers and other weird little things, but it's definitely holding strong, man. Of course, Serial ATA or your favorite SATA. And then, you know, the other thing too is that, like, if your power supply does have, you know, most power supplies are going to come with 2 EPS connections. This one right here being the one that I had already plugged into the system for just some basic testing. But with this particular motherboard, more or less with high-end motherboards, you will see, you know, 2 EPS connections with it. Now, when this first started up, a lot of it, that, you know, motherboard manufacturers used to put a little sticker on it. And they would put a little sticker and it would say for extreme overclocking only. And you're like, well, I'm an extreme overclocker, so I need to plug it in. And I think a lot of it kind of tiered to where people felt like they needed to plug that second 8-pin in, or an 8 and a 6, because those things were, you know, existed out there. And that's why, like with this one's going to be a 4+4 as well as this. Sometimes we do like a straight 8 and then a 4+4 in regards to how, you know, like to split it up. Because I'm sorry, I didn't mean 6 and 8. I meant 8 and 4, because they had the 8 plus a 4 or an 8 plus an 8. But, you know, companies like Intel made some moves a while back to kind of balance out the load. And this is where the funny part comes in, because this is what I've been thinking about with the Gen 5 connector. And I've been waiting to see when NVIDIA or any board partner for that matter would come out with a dual 2 Gen 5 connectors. And it's there, but it's very limited. But look how much wattage those cards are pulling. Now, going back to the Intel story, one of the, I'd say, smartest moves that I've seen when it comes to power delivery was that, you know, you can get like 384 watts out of an 8-pin connection. So look at like what some CPUs are pulling. Now we're not talking GPU side here and everything, but think about like where they're talking about the Gen 5, like how the, you know, the voltage, it's getting hot, it's too much, it's overloading the cable and everything. Well, one of the nice things I liked about how these motherboards went to dual EPS was that they balanced the workload. So instead of just making it all or nothing on 8, and then these other 8 are just sitting here dormant, they shared the load between the 2, balanced it out, and I mean, it's just been good since. And I mean, these 8-pin connections are solid. I'm surprised we're not, well, we could go back to this. I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see what is the fate of the Gen 5 connection in the next, 2 to 5 years? I mean, are we going to see a big drop in power with some improvements with efficiency? Or are we just going to see bigger and beefier things requiring bigger and beefier power supplies? Either way they end up going, Thermaltake will have a solution. I just, we'll have to see what they end up doing, man. We'll just have to see what they end up doing. It's very, very interesting. Don't you? No, don't say those things, Box. Mike. What day is the mic? Throat thingy. Freaking brain. If you don't say hi to Mike or chat, you shall be disqualified from the waffles. No waffle for you. No waffle for you. But yeah, I mean, I have these guys left over. I don't necessarily need them, but I do want to plug in that extra EPS. So might as well, right? So let's go ahead and we'll slap that in here. Eat a lot of peaches. I mean, I guess, yeah, keep the SATA in there in case I'd want to put like a hard drive in there and everything like that. But I still have 3 more ports for 6-pin. And then I still got 2 dedicated 8-pin connections with everything already plugged in. So the nice thing is for a lot of us, and I'm definitely one of them, if I'm still running like an 8-pin connection on my graphics card, I really don't like doing any piggybacking or splitting where, you know, it's 1 8-pin into the power supply that splits to 2 8-pins. That's not my cup of tea and everything. I like independent cables. I could get 2 dedicated 8s straight from 8s, 8 to 8, you know? So stuff like that I feel is important. You'll definitely get that in the box. And you know, the unique thing too about this particular power supply, the Snow Edition one comes with a brown or what we like a gravel sand fan. No light, just a colored fan. And I mean, come on, guys. We've done RGB power. We've done non-RGB power. We've been doing power for a long time. I've seen us do this like a long time ago. So I would definitely say it's not necessarily new. You might not even really necessarily be able to see it too much, but I just thought it was kind of interesting that we kind of took the risk and the approach of like, hey, let's splash a little color in your power, where the Snow Edition is going to have a gravel sand fan. And then I love gravel sand fan, by the way. And the black one is going to come with a future dusk fan. But again, it doesn't light up or anything. So we're not looking to try to make something flashy, but just, you know, splash a little bit of color in your life. And I mean, at the same time, for the most part, even in with like this build with the power supply going on the back, I mean, we have a perforated back panel dedicated for both the power supply and the fans on both sides. So I'd always recommend having the fan facing outward. That isolates the power supply's heat, and it also gives your power supply nice little cool induction here on this side instead of trying to suck the heat off the back of your motherboard, because you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. And there's even like a cool little ledge right here so that you can kind of line your power supply up. So I can just kind of take this in here, and I like that I can rest it here on that little tab that's on the bottom before, you know, even getting in a single screw. So it just kind of makes it a little bit easier so that I can start securing the unit in without like literally trying to hold it right here and do that. So I think those things are important. You know what I mean? Those things are important. Is it how much more power CPUs and GPUs will draw in the future? I know, right? Soon we'll need a fusion reactor in our homes to run our PCs. Well, if you didn't see the news, you know, Jensen's trying to put a data center in your front yard. And then they're going to probably they're going to pull the power from your gaming PC to power their data center that's in your front yard and everything like that, right? That's going to be some interesting stuff. That is going to be some interesting stuff right there. All right, let's get a couple of screws out here for our power supply, and we'll get that bad boy handled. But yeah, like I was saying, power supply is a safe bet. I mean, it's really not going to be in the way, more or less. And if anything, I mean, like my EPS cables and all that, I'm gonna want to route them, you know, for my connection that's going to be up here. But I can't necessarily, I mean, I guess I can do that without the power supply. I mean, how many people you think are out there will plug the power supply in but not the cables, and then plug the cables in the component? Does anybody plug the components in first before plugging it into the power supply? Because I got to be honest, guilty as charged. I've always plugged the cables into the power supply before installing the power supply into the case, Maybe we should just kind of troll people and be like, well, no, you should plug the cables into the components first, then install the power supply. Then you can route the cables and plug it into the power supply. And you know, the funny enough part with that is that I could see benefits both ways. You know what I mean? For cable routing and stuff like that, I can have everything all kind of plugged in. My power supply is not back here. It's not in the way. And then once I have everything routed and set up, then I can go and put that power supply in and I'm just plugging it back into the box. You know what I mean? So I think it's your power, your way. Do whatever you feel is more comfortable for you. I mean, either way, the goal here is to make sure that you plugged everything in, one, correctly, and two, fully seat the seatness out of your power supply. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? All right, now this turntable is going to piss me off, so 1 second. It's rotating more than needed. Rotating more than needed. Any developments on the Waffle microphone color? I looked up over the weekend trying to find some. I was gonna get yellow, and then I was like, oh, maybe I should get orange. And then I was trying to find one that had like a cool little waffle pattern. And then I started thinking to myself that I should buy the yellow one and then do like a cool little grid pattern on it and get some spray paint and like make my own. And then I started thinking of different little ideas and everything. So I'm cooking right now because I just like to make stuff and just do my own version. If I can't find it on Amazon, then I'm gonna take those next steps. You feel me? So I'm thinking about some fun little ideas with that. I also thought about getting blue and maybe some of the other colors like purple and stuff, and then just kind of change it up each and every week. You know what I mean? Add a little color to my mic. You know what I mean? So it's a very important subject for me. I mean, after all, it does have my name in it. You know? Waffle cone with more, and no, dude, I mean, like, you know, if it wasn't for like the feltness of this and everything and wanting to put too much paint on it, I have some fun little ideas here. I have some fun little ideas, but I need to, let me cook on that. I will keep you guys, well, you'll see once it's ready. It's just, I got to prepare for my big trip coming up to Taiwan. Dude, 14-hour flight, guys. 14-hour flight. Oh, my goodness. So much fun, though. So worth it. So happy to see everybody. You know what I mean? And yes, I will kind of throw this out there. If you can kind of tell, I don't know. I think you can definitely tell from right here. The power supply itself is not directly white. The case is. The case is just white paper white, right? So when you look at the case and you look at this power supply, it's not really like a cream color, but it's not like a bright white type of power supply. So it's, like I said, it's adding a little bit of color to it, but still maintaining that. Now the connectors themselves are that paper white. So it's not really an issue of like, oh, I want the connect. I don't want like an off-white or beige type of connector and everything, even though that would be cool with like the retro case and everything, but still this would be a good power supply for that retro case just the same. But it's not like, it's a little off-white. I mean, I don't know if it's kind of tied into the whole brown fan idea, but it's definitely not what you're going to traditionally think. But again, like I said, you're more or less not going to see that. It's not going to matter. But what would matter is that my connectors are just that nice, clean white color that if you're going to go with those builds with the white components and it makes sense, don't worry about that. I guess that's probably like the honest feedback I could give you on that. You know what I mean? So, yeah. We have all of our cables. We have all of our connectors. I mean, like, look at this. So it doesn't necessarily hinder too much. I do think it's funny that the logo's upside down in regards to that. I remember back in the day, we used to make these where they were just like magnetic. And this was just like a little magnetic square and you could kind of slide it off, turn it around. A lot of the stuff where power supplies were in the front side when no power cover was present. I mean, it's the same thing with like how the logos are. The logos are flip-flopped on either side depending on the orientation that you put the power supply in the case, right? If it's fan down versus fan up, you know, it's got two different side logos there with that and everything. Why my waffle entry not counting? Oh, well, let's take a look. Let's take a look. Is anybody else having waffle related issues? Let me take a look here. On YouTube. Okay, Pig, let me see. Let's check the logs. It might not have popped up. Oh, there it is. No, it just showed up. Maybe it's lagging. Maybe it's lagging a little bit, but no worries. Let me check the list here. Dude, look at all you wafflers already. Holy crap. You guys are getting it in. We're strong with the waffles. Let's go. All right. Yeah, you're good. Happy to check, man. No. Don't feel bad. All good. I've seen it some. Oh. Hello. Switch back. Oh, hello. Where did he go? I deleted him. No, just kidding. I didn't. That guy keeps talking about Chippy's leg all the time. One less waffle. I'll show him. Love you, Pig. Hope you're having a good one, man. Happy hump day. Yeah, guys, get in on that waffle. We got like 20-something minutes. Yeah, like 20-something minutes left on our waffleage. Hopefully we can wrangle some of this stuff here. Now, when you're kind of perplexed with like, what am I going to do next? Where do I need to go? You know what I mean? Like, the one thing I always like to say is just don't stress about all of this just yet. Don't stress
I
about
wouldn't
all
criticize
of this.
him for it. Maybe he has a legma.
Ligma. You know, there's a pill for that. But like, don't overthink that you have to wrangle all of these cables right away. I mean, from the front panel stuff or top panel connections to your power supply cables and everything. We'll worry about the cables and everything later. Let's make sure everything's plugged in first. Let's at least get a post screen, get into the BIOS, like make sure everything's good. Don't spend 2 hours back here just yet. Save it for later. Hold. Save it for later. Let's make sure everything works first. It's kind of important. You might get timed out, so no waffles. Easy there. So you got the mods in to say you're talking about can't be criticizing the legma. I'm gonna have to Google that later and see if it's real. Grok, is this real? Grok, is this real? Do you think Twitch is gonna add something like that one of these days? Where like if I say something, you're gonna ask Twitch to verify that what I said is right, and then there's gonna be some crazy chat thing over there. Is that the future that we're expecting with AI and everything like that? Are they gonna jam? When are they gonna jam AI into the chat? I don't think it's when, or I don't think it's if. I think it's when. It's like an earthquake. AI is like an earthquake. It's not about if, it's about when. Skynet. Because what is it? We talk about what is it? Terminator 2, right? Judgment Day. 2029? We're getting closer, guys. We're getting closer to Judgment Day. We're getting closer to Judgment Day. I swear, if there's a company that launches in the next couple years or like within the next year and they're like, oh, it's Skynet or something similar, we got to watch out, guys. We got to watch out. Yeah, dual chamberness wise, I mean, yeah, I got a good amount of room. But the one thing, and here, now that I got this, yeah, I think I got a good little set so you guys can kind of see a little bit more about what I'm talking about. Get ourselves situated. Oh yeah, there we go. Got to have the right angle. Maybe. Well, like, look at like, so you got your 24-pin cable. You are using a backwards connection style motherboard. So this bad boy right here is more or less going to get folded up, and it's going to kind of go in this little pocket here for the most part, because it's not passing through the case, taking up a little bit extra length from the cable, if you would say, right? Because it's just going to be going right here. So this cable going in right here onto the motherboard, that's just going to slap right in there. But now I have a little bit of extra to deal with here with this, right? And I mean, we can kind of flatten these guys out, line them all up, you know, make them look clean, and just try to get these all situated. But we'll worry about this more or less later. But ultimately kind of getting the idea like, okay, I'm going to have a row of stuff going down here, but I still got other things like my Type C, my USB 3 and everything that I kind of want to route that in first. Cause I mean, when I'm looking at this, at least as far as how this particular motherboard goes, I mean, I would say most of them are pretty similar, but I got my USB 3 and my Type C right here below my 24 pin. Very similar to what I see on most boards that are out there. I mean, SATA connections are going to be down here on this side, and then all the fun stuff down here on the bottom for my USB 2.0 headers, my PWMs, HD audio, you know, even a couple more SATA ports, but more or less a lot of my PWM cables. And that's going to help a good bit for helping with this little bit of cable wrinklage. And then we can zip tie this up with a grip and a half and get that tucked in here nicely and have a nice, we have a nice little section right here to kind of more or less rest all of this stuff. And that's one of the things I really like about dual chamber cases, because it just makes stuff a little bit easier, you know what I mean? EPS and everything, it's always going to go up here into the corner. Like I was saying earlier, popping out that hard drive cage really makes this even easier. I mean, we can always put that cage back in. It's not like the cage is going to limit us or anything. I'm probably going to be running my cable across and then over and down, kind of lining it up with my 24 pin and just getting that cool little L shape there, zip tying it down, and then I'll still have a good amount of space here to put my hard drive cage back in, and real easy access for routing both the power as well as my SATA or serial ATA cable too. So just kind of tuck all this, just tuck it in there. See, you close the door, no one knows. Close that door, nobody knows about it. You know what I mean? Stuff like my SATA power for my hard drive that I'm going to probably add in later. I'll, you know, just tuck that bad boy away in there. We got one EPS here. We got another EPS there. And you know, like I was saying, you know, nice, easy connections like this. The more of these backwards connection boards that I build, the easier a lot of this stuff is looking. Like, this is really nice. And then I have plenty of cable length too to be able to do what I want with it, right? I mean, yeah, you could just let it hang and you could just close the door and call it a day. But, you know, it's your cable your way. But we got nice little connection to see. Look at all these beautiful tie down points right here, down below there. So you can really dig in on this. There's even some over here along on this side, like as you can see right over there too. So helps out for fans that you're going to put on the side and or just kind of maintaining some of those cables, because you want to bundle it up a good bit, but you don't want to kind of cluster it too much, because I do like to have some airflow, some, you know, circulation going on here in the back a little bit. And that's mostly because if I have an HDD that's going to be resting up on here, I mean, yeah, I got exhaust coming out the top of the case, but you're still going to have a little bit of air moving around, you know, give that hard drive a little bit of love, you know what I mean? But then, yeah, you're just going to have to figure out how you're going to overlap it and make it look clean, but then you don't want to cover up a lot of the little cable connections that you're going to have here too, because I got another 5 volt here, for example, and then I also got a lot of PWMs here for like my AIO, for the pump, lights, fans, all that kind of stuff. So it's nice that you have the option, kind of pick your battle as far as how you're going to split up your load between top and bottom connections based on your fans. I mean, like, if you're daisy chaining them or they're single connections, you know, bottom fans can go down here, top fans can go up here. It makes it nice and clean, and you're not running cables top to bottom in the case. You know what I'm saying? So kind of cleans it up pretty good. And then there's that beautiful matcha cable. Look at that bad boy right there. Matchiness. It's pretty close to mine. I'm trying to think of this. That's pretty dang close. That's pretty dang close, to be fair. Cheers, everybody. Yeah, let's go. Oh, yeah. Oh, good old hump day, baby. Good old hump day. All right. Yeah, don't forget about your front panel cables while you're kind of going like, oh, the easy stuff like your 24 pin, your EPS, and just kind of plugging that stuff in there. I mean, I'm just going to not necessarily get them out of the way, but just kind of, you know, tuck them a little bit here and there, just so that way I got a little bit of wiggle room. It's not hanging out too much, more or less for show than it is for practicality use. I mean, same with like the Gen 5. We'll be playing with that later, but I don't necessarily need it right now. You know what I mean? But as you can start, you don't want to kind of just tuck everything in down here on the bottom, because guess what? You need the access down here. So you're going to want to kind of clear a little bit out so that way you can get your connection, specifically your front panel stuff. So now that the motherboard's in, the power supply's in, I mean, the fact that the fans are already in there, we're literally looking at AIO and graphics card and done for the most part. So, I mean, let's kind of spend a little bit more time on the cables. We'll get the front panel stuff because it's pretty straightforward as far as how that's all going to go. And again, like I'm saying, we're not trying to make every cable route perfect just yet. I will do that between this stream and next stream as we come back for... The heck that got stuck in the fan. As we'll come back next week to do some fun airflow testing, maybe a little bit of gameplay, some benchmarking, and just see how the case does. Because again, you know, with this being one piece curved, one piece glass, right? You don't have no fans in the front. How's the airflow going to be, especially with intake on the bottom and right here on the side? You know, what kind of stuff can we expect in regards to that? I mean, of course, we got some nice exhaust at the top and the back, so we got a good little balance of both there with that. But how's that going to do with the glass? And on top of that, like, dude, I want to hotbox the crap out of this thing and see what it looks like, because with that big old piece of glass right there, I think it's going to really hold in a lot, because you don't got perforation through glass. So should be a good show next week for sure. Should be a good show for next week. But yeah, I mean, I'm not necessarily trying to do anything crazy. I likely will be pulling some of these connections out later, you know, as I get the build posted and just, you know, make sure everything's good to go, you know what I mean? But like, I'm not kind of going, all right, this has got to go this way or that way just yet. And it takes a little bit of stress off you too, you know, when you're doing stuff, you know what I mean? Was driving, but Skynet company exists. It's called Starlink. Oh. Yep. Star is like sky and links are part of the internet. Well, I guess that's it, everybody. I guess that's it. We'll see you on the other side. All right. And then, yeah, of course, both of these guys, front panel and HD audio. I mean, the good part is you can't more or less screw this up, thank God, but it is printed on the connector just in case. If you're like me and you look at the pinouts and you just need the pinouts to look, fantastic. But I know for a lot of us, we're not necessarily looking for the bottom corner versus that one in the middle there. So it is printed on the actual case. So, you know, those kind of things we plug in. Now, I might take a gander at, well, let me see here. I can actually, you know what? Let's do this. This Smash Mouth? Wow. Doing it this here. Dude, I can do a little, dude, I should start playing around with my sit stand a little bit more, because I do have movement. We've got motion here. We've got motion here at Thermaltake. I got to make sure the little white part, I got to get the little white part out. So it's, there we go. Perfect. Perfect. But I should start playing with this a little bit more, I think. Look, because I can sit here and I can do this. Zooming in. Zoom. Would you like to zoom in a little bit more? Zoom in a little bit more. I mean, especially for me with my height, this does help a good bit. Yeah, let's get it. Oh, wait. Get it right there. There we go. There we go. Got that. We'll just tuck these in here. Like I said, man, easy, simple right now. We're not trying to braid the perfect braid. And, you know, to be fair, I mean, that's going to be so easy to access. We'll just take that out for now, right? Why do we even need it? You know, Gen 5, here. See that matcha right there? You got to make sure that disappears. You know what I mean? But again, another thing, I really like about a modular power supply. I mean, even just in the building process, those two cables are going to go to my storage up here and or my graphics card, which is likely the last thing I'm going to be putting in this case. So, and with the convenience of it just being right here, it makes it really, really easy. Compared to a power supply that's going to be down in the bottom and the cables are going this way, that connector is always on the far side, never right here and nice and convenient. So, hey, you know, use that convenience to the maximum. Let's see right here. We can F panel. This is the me panel right here. This is the F panel. The camera's in the way, I can't say. Supplies are running out. How much time we got? So less than 10 minutes. Waffle up if you got the stuff. You could be a big winner. Now, do I want to run this under this or over this? These are probably like the only things that I kind of am considering, you know? And I don't like this already. I think that was a bad call. So we're going to run that under our wire mess, and then we'll just, it's over there. So I think the over-under does matter. Over-under can matter a little bit there too, because I want to kind of keep this little bundle free, if you know what I mean. See what I'm saying? Like keep that free. If I'm going to run stuff underneath this, so it's not overlapping. Because did you just see that? See how ugly that was? It was terrible. I mean, this is one thing, but man, you don't want to overlap your stuff and all that. You know what I mean? You don't overlap your stuff. All right, and then we got the world famous HD audio right here. We all use this. Everybody uses HD audio today, right? Let me see, where is that bad boy? Oh, there it is, all the way in the corner. All the way in the corner. Now, this is a little bit of a tight fit, and I would say the power supply is a little bit in my way. So maybe running some of your front panel stuff might be an option for you. Or just kind of thinking about it. I really wish there was like a hole right here that I could reach in. Of course, then I think a lot of us would just be like, I don't need it, doesn't matter. But no, we got to plug it in. It's a weird angle for me with the camera, so bear with me. There we go. There we go. And then we're just gonna, that bad boy is probably gonna just chill right there, run underneath our wire mess that we got right here. You know what I'm saying? I have a feeling when I put my PC together, my cables will look, well, a lot of people's cables do look like this from the beginning, but wait until next week to see what kind of magic I make here with some management. I mean, I think a lot of the things to consider too is that when you're dealing with a backwards connection board, you not necessarily might not want to cover all of these things or, you know, a lot of the access there, where instead of running stuff on the bottom, I might want to try to run it right up underneath here. And you got some nice tie downs right here on the bottom, as you can see. So utilizing this little metal bar in the middle versus just trying to dump it down here, you know, on the bottom, like I think a lot of us would like to. I'd like to kind of keep that axis right there and just maybe like kind of float that cable bundle across the top and then just have everything kind of just teardropping in, you know what I mean? So I'll see what I end up doing, but you got some ideas. Got some ideas right there. You know what I mean? But yeah, front panel's plugged in. So we got that going. We'll figure out what we're going to do with that. Same thing here, EPS 24 pin, 3.0, Type-C. Front panel, all that fun stuff connected. Now, with these ones, I'm not going to do too much wrangling with it, but what I do know is that there are two of these guys here that are important on the chain. I mean, if you can see right here, like this one's going to be male end. This is not going to be, you know, you need a female connection for the motherboard. So they come with like these nice little covers right here, so you don't got like that metal on metal contact. So these things are really nice. I do recommend those. Even though it's 5 volt, I don't think it's that big a deal. But if you got it, use it. You know what I'm saying? But then we would have, this is going to be our connection that we'll be plugging into our motherboard. And I always just kind of like pre-plan map out, like, you know, where is that connection? Well, it's right over here. Oh, you can't, hard to see. But my 5 volts right there over on this side. And then I got a lot of options for like all my other stuff too. So it's just kind of like figuring out like where it's going to go, what it's going to do. And just trying to like be like, okay, so do I have enough link for this? You know what I mean? So that was another thing is I was like, oh, hey, am I going to have enough length to be able to plug everything in And this is one of the big reasons, and one thing that I wanted to show you in regards to, like, okay, so PWM, no problem. I mean, that's right there, and that's convenient. Oops, sorry. Oh, my bad. I'm so sorry. And that's right there. But as my ARGB is set up, and I kind of separate this a little bit so the PWM stuff over there. Here's my ARGB. This is for all 5 fans. So then all 5 fans are all kind of connected up together, right? And then this is going to more or less be my endpoint. This is the point that's got to go into the motherboard. But then with this guy, I got to go all the way over here, and it's not going to reach. Now, I don't necessarily have to break my zip tie on this, but it is something that we can all run into challenges-wise when dealing with, you know, daisy chain kind of stuff. But we do have some options. And I think we talk about this here and there as far as like, this is my endpoint that's here, but I need to go over here. And then I got this bad boy. Oh, again, sorry. I got this bad boy that's got plenty of room, but it's the wrong side. It's the male connector where I need the female connector way over here. So there's some jumbling that you can do to kind of switch that up. Lower our desk back down here so we can. There we go. Yeah. Hope everybody's having a great Waffle Wednesday. Happy hump day, everybody. Couple minutes left on the waffle. See right there? Couple minutes left on the waffle. Get in on it. Exclamation mark waffle right here in the chat, you guys. Get in on it. You should get a fun little conversation. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. Should get in on it. So let's take a look at this really quick. So this is where I was at here versus here. How do we fix this, right? So let's take a look. Or get the HD audio. Get out of here, HD audio. We don't need you. Then let's just disconnect. Let's do it. Let's just go all out. All right, everything's disconnected, but we're keeping them all together right here, right? No PWMs. This is all just the the 5 volts and everything. So now that we know that, and your motherboard could vary if it's here in the middle, up over here. I mean, you know, different things you got to kind of plan for when you're doing this kind of linking, or daisy chaining is what they call it. You're going to want to kind of make a little bit of an adjustment here. So what I'm going to do is, instead of this being one end where the other was the other end over here, we are going to turn this into, we're basically flipping it around. So instead of having, because this one over here, right? This one is the female, and then we had male on this side. So now we need it the opposite. So what we're going to do is we'll plug this in. Let's see if I do this right. Let's see if I even do this right. Get this over here. I kind of look at the cable links, right? Like longest to shortest. You know, it's like kind of drawing straws. Kind of like drawing straws a little bit. Just go with the next one. Plug this duder in. There we go. Nice little arrow indicators. I mean, dude, like if it's 2 and 1. So if you can't even figure that much out, there's a little arrow here on the side. So either way. And then see, now here's the one that we had the cover on. So we'll go ahead and we'll peel the cover, exposing the metal pins that we have. Plug that one in. So now we're here. And we're definitely over here more, but we got one more. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take this one, which is our last one in the little chain, chain. And basically we just kind of flip-flopped it. So now my connection that is female is on this side, and my male connection is more or less my starting point. So it kind of depends on which way you go. Sometimes it can be a little bit confusing, but just don't zip tie everything down just yet. You know what I mean? Because you might have to do this. And this is a perfect example that I wanted to show you how I set it up before stream, so you could kind of see what would happen if you get stuck in this sticky situation. And then, of course, then with that, we have plenty of room to be able to get our 5 volt plugged in down here where the motherboard provides the connector. Why did Darth Vader search the guitar shop to find a hidden rebel bass? So good. So good. Thank you so much for that. I love it. It's a drop. Okay, that's 2 on 1. So, WM guys aside. So see, here's where I was talking about like the power supply. It can be in the way. It might not be in the way. I guess it depends on the size of your hand. But I think a lot of it is just camera angle and I can't see what I'm doing. But there we go. Got that plugged in. PWM's plugged in on the other side. So now that we got a lot of that stuff kind of plugged in here, this stuff can just kind of chill. You know what I mean? Like this can chill now because we basically got everything plugged in. Minus if you got any USB 2.0 stuff. I mean, that's an easy scoot the cable to the side, plug it in kind of deal and be able to do that. But other than that, we have our front panel, USB 3 type C, like all that stuff all connected in. And now we just kind of connected. We connected the 5 fans, basically the 3 along the bottom and the 2 here on the side. We still got the 1 fan here on the top, which we got the connection for right there. And then the nice thing about this motherboard and the way the cutouts are and everything is that we still have some nice convenient options here on top. So I don't necessarily have to try to run this all the way down the case to try to plug it down into here. And then I'll also have some extra room once I add the AIO in on the top. We're just gonna add it in with this and we'll have a single connector and we'll be good to go. So that'll be how we'll handle that. That will be how we will handle the rest of that there. You know what I mean? But just sometimes those daisy chain cables can be a little difficult, you know what I mean? But like, it's not too bad when you kind of play around with it and just understand the whole, like, I got to go from this side to this side. And that's going to vary too. I mean, you're going to have a different experience depending on how the board is set up. I mean, I've seen so many motherboards over the years. And I mean, we're talking like from back in the 12 volt days for RGB to now with the 5 volt connector and everything. Like, you'd think they would fix that 5 volt connector and make it different, but then I guess it's a big cost to change it, right? But that little 3-pin dude, like it needs some type of retention clip or so. Like, can we change that connection, please? Please, but just don't make it a magnet. That the one thing I don't want is that to be like a magnet connection. You feel me? Waffle's closed? And then you guys all typed waffle at the end. The waffle's closed and then you all typed waffle. Did you guys all not get in? Was it all like a last minute waffling? Here. See, we talk about this like every single week, don't we? We talk about this every single week. Here. Here. I'll give you a couple minutes and that's it. You get a couple minutes. If you didn't get in, you get a couple minutes. Get it in there. Don't delay. Blizzard. Type that waffle. Get that waffle, you guys. There you go. Come on. I'm only going to do this for a couple minutes, man. You snooze, you lose on the waffles, man. I don't know what to tell you. You got a road trip going on right now? Well, you better find a rest stop because we're going to be waffling soon. If you're riding on that roller coaster right now and you're going up there watching the waffles and everything, and you don't want to lose your phone on the loop-to-loop, we'll let me know, and we'll make sure that we wait another 45 seconds for you to definitely finish that roller coaster ride. You know what I'm saying? They will never change if you keep rewarding the people that are late. Oh, that's a good one, right? We should, huh? We should be stricter with the waffles, shouldn't we? Maybe if I had, maybe I need to get some like AI video stuff to say, you know, like a little waffle door and it closes. You know, like when we started, it opens. It's like, come on in. The restaurant's open. Are you hungry? Think about the poor people that show up to those restaurants and they're like, what, 5 minutes before
Roller
closing
Coaster
time?
Tycoon.
Dude, Roller Coaster Tycoon was so much fun. Like building a roller coaster that no one would ride and then trying to find the little change that you could get somebody brave enough. I mean, we're talking, you made the little path and then you made it so they couldn't go back, but they're still just chilling right there. Like, no, I'm not getting on that. Great game. Great game. I always wait till the last minute. I'd be devastated if called and I was out walking my car. Whoa, car, easy. It saw another car. Feed them overpriced vendor food. This isn't PAX. This isn't DreamHack. $25 chicken strips and fries. What a deal. Oh, the soda's extra. It'll be $9. Oh, man. But yeah, I think that gives a good, like, understanding. Like, if you're going to go through a couple of different things, I mean, the power supply doesn't hinder me too much, but it could be in the way for a couple of things. I mean, you might want to run the front panel connections first if it's convenient for you, as far as just kind of plugging some things in there. But it all really kind of depends, too, if you have other, like, USB 2.0 header devices, and you got to run those cables in there, or you got controllers and, like, a lot of other stuff. So it's going to vary depending on the person. But, like, I mean, again, it kind of goes back to, like, should we just plug this into the component first and then plug it into the power supply last? Have I been doing it wrong all these years? You know what I mean? We should start a trend. We should start a different trend of just doing not necessarily everything backwards, but not wrong. It's not backwards, but it's not wrong either. Because that's all everybody likes to point out on the internet nowadays. You're wrong. You're doing it wrong. I know how to do. I am a professional. I know how to do it. I'm going to start waiting till the waffle ends to enter because I know Mike's got my back. Until that one time he comes that minute late, right? Until that one time he comes a minute late. I was out siphoning gas from my neighbor's boat. Wait, hold on. I got to win the waffle. Gas can in hand. With a lighter, still wouldn't find out. With a can full of gas and a handful of matches, still wouldn't find out. I once waffled off the coast of Maui on a snorkel boat. I've done a Maui snorkel boat. I didn't get to waffle though. I wish I could have waffled. I wish I would have waffled off the coast of Maui on a snorkel boat. Floorboard of my Ford. It's not backwards, it's wrong words. Oh, wrong words. Okay. New tech. All right, is everybody in? Did you all waffle already? Oh, we got things to do. Are we all in? Yeah, this is Primus. My name is Mud. Oh, it's probably, is it quiet? Is it like too quiet? Turn up a little bit. We in? Shreds? Last minute waffler. Big winner last week. See, big winner last week. We ready? Is that it? Oh, you at-waffled me? You at-waffled me right there. Axe my waffle just in case. Well, last minute taker getting in. All right, that's it. Done. Closed. I'm sorry, we waited. We gave extra time, chat. Remind them when they say, where's my extra time? New music. I don't, not this week. We have some other stuff though. But I think we have something much more important to do. Much more important to do.
I went to the bank to sort out my mortgage and got directed to someone dressed as a cowboy. I think he was the Lone Ranger.
Did he have a badge on his shirt that said Lone Star? All right, you guys know what time it is. You guys know what time it is, right? Right, well, guess what? It's that time. It's waffle time. Let's waffle it up, baby. I hope Red Hot Chili Peppers never comes after me. This song is amazing. Ah, my wheel. Reboot. Reboot. Reboot the wheel. Why did it do that? All right. It's time to give it away. Give it away now. Notice me, Chippy. Oh, are you ready? Are you ready? Dude, where'd my... Oh, there it goes. Wrong page. There we go. 3, 2, 1, go. You are all free now. You are all free now. Has won the waffle. It is not a statement. It is a winner. You are all free now. Congratulations. Come on down. You're the next contestant on The Waffle is Right. We're all free to go. Okay, bye. Is he walking the car? GG's, he's there. Let's go. Congratulations. Congratulations. Oh, I forgot to say over on Twitch, but yeah, you got it. You got it. Congratulations. You are free for winning the waffle. Thanks for being here. Good luck to you. You say spin it, and hopefully the wheel will work. Hopefully the wheel will work. Good luck. Let's get a big prize, baby. Come on. Come on. It's your turn. Let's get a big prize. Finger on the trigger. You say win. Spin. Let's go. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Let's go. Come on. Something big. Something big. Oh, dude, that's a big one, man. Scoring your choice of an AIO cooler from Thermaltake. That is a fat, cool prize, man. That's a cool prize, dude. Congratulations. Congratulations. Take a look at Thermaltake at USA.com. Take a peeky at all of those AIOs. Choose wisely. Choose wisely. Congratulations. Congratulations. All right. One more. One more waffler. One more waffler. Let's go. Yeah, welcome to the Waffle Club, baby. All right, 3, 2, 1. Oh, Grasume! Oh, Grasume won! He beat Box! He beat Box! Oh my God! Oh my God, Grasume on the celebratory subscription day. Grasume, let's go! Oh man. Let's go, dude. What was it? How many? 43? 43 months, baby. Look, it only took 43 months. I love you, Box. Hey, congratulations, buddy. Appreciate you, AKA Bacon. Let's go. All right, man. You say spin it, you're going to win it, man. Let's go. Let's go. Good luck, man. Big prize. Come on, baby. Big prize. Ironbox, my love is never too soon for you. I'm dying. Oh, my God. Come on, baby. Let's go. Only fans. Only fans, my friends. All right, dude. Congratulations on winning your choice of some fans. I'm going to send you one of the cool little waffle things, too, now that you finally won. I'm your biggest fan. Congrats, man. Congrats, man. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Let's go. Let's go, dude. All right. Thank you guys so much for waffling with us. Of course, we'll be back next week. We got 2 more streams after this one before we go to Taiwan. So mark your calendars. Don't miss out on the waffle before we go to the Far East and everything. We'll be in a little hiatus, but we'll be back with more waffles. You know, don't worry about that. Congrats again, you guys. Congrats again, you guys. Yeah, let's go, man. Congrats, Grasume. Hell yeah. Box, I'm still waiting, buddy. One day, my friend. I can't wait. I can't wait. One of these days, man. One of these days. I'm going to say Box could win next week now. That's going to be like my call to action right here. I think Box could win next week, and it would be wild. It would be wild to see a mod back-to-back win after how many months, years of not winning anything. But hey, it could be anyone. Could be you. It's got a waffle with us each and every week, man. Wildly rigged. Yeah, I'll just rig it so you win next time, okay? Wink, wink. Don't tell anybody. Oh, wait, we're not in the mod chat. Oh my God, are we live? Oh man, thanks guys. Appreciate you guys being here, hanging out with us. We wrangle some cables, build a case, but what it's all about is giving back to you guys for our Waffle Wednesdays. Happy hump day to you guys. Congrats again to the winners. Let's go. Box and I are waiting. Okay. All right. I get it. I get it. No, you got to play if you want to win, baby. You got to play if you want to win. Don't get stuck walking your car. You know, those things can happen. Those things can happen. All right. Woo! Woo! Yeah, you never know, though. And he's probably like, I'm not going to win. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. We shall see. Stay tuned. Could be you. Could be you. Love giving them out. Wish we could do more, my guys. Come on. Wish we could do more. Because, yeah, Bach's been telling me, he goes, dude, I haven't won, bro. Like, I haven't won. You want the retro case? You know, I'm thinking about the retro case and doing a build with the retro case. But it's got to be right. And I think if I wanted to do a build in a retro case, I'd want it to be kind of retro. Well, what would you if we did a retro case build in the new retro case that we just launched, right? Should I put old parts or new parts inside? You know, should I look for like vintage type of things to like build in it to make it look old but new but old? Or is it just old but new but new? These types of things I'm trying to figure out. I'll ask ChatGPT later what ChatGPT thinks. But I think it'd be kind of cool to put some classic parts in there and do some fun. I remember I worked with mellow that out a little bit. I mean, I totally go mute. I have no idea if that's too loud or not. I base it off of the level. No one says anything. I guess I'm good. I guess we're good. You know what I mean? And a turbo button. Dude, and I think that was one of the things that I looked at because like our retro case is like $90. It's not too crazy expensive. And I think for some people looking at like, you know, an old build that they got, you know, that maybe it's a garage PC or maybe it's in the closet and it's not being used and everything. And, you know, you want to kind of slap that into something else. But you don't want it to look old, but you want it new, but you want it to look old still. That might be the case for you, you know what I mean? But maybe we could do some fun stuff like that. It'd be really cool to get some old, I don't know, Intel, AMD, NVIDIA stuff and everything. I mean, I don't know if it's quite to the point where I'd bring in like my old 7800 GTX ACS3 EVGA edition kind of thing that I have up on my wall now. Love that card. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe we could figure something out. Maybe we could figure something out. I can send you old parts. You can send me complete. Yeah, that's right. Hey, send me your old parts. I'll send you new stuff, right? Sure. But you got to ship first. I still got Devil's Canyon in the orange build back there. I mean, I guess that's not really. You know what's funny is that I saw a post on PC Master Race, and somebody was asking if like a 4790K and a 980 Ti is considered vintage. And maybe it was just me because my Sunkist build, like the first mod that I ever did here with Thermaltake, this build back here is a 4790K Devil's Canyon with 980 Ti's and SLI. The last SLI build I ever did for myself. Well, yeah, I think so. No, I think I had some other, but not like this, not custom cooled, if that makes sense, right? But like I was like, oh, he basically said my CPU and GPU of my old build system. I don't know. I mean, it's definitely, I would say it's old school, but I wouldn't say it's vintage. You know what I mean? To me, vintage is like Pentium 2 or like a K2 AMD CPU kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, it'd be kind of fun to just kind of put like some of those old parts that, you know, get a green PCB motherboard. You know what I mean? Would it be too much to say that it would be kind of crazy if motherboard companies started changing the PCB boards back? Like, what if they made a retro PCB, like new chipset but looks retro? I think I could see motherboard companies doing something cool like that. I could see them making the graphics cards look retro too. I definitely would want another retro case from us here at Thermaltake, just the same. Let's be honest. But yeah, we got most of our cables plugged in. I mean, they're kind of hanging out a little bit right here, but we're connected up, right? So we got a lot of our main primary connections installed with our power supply. Remember, you got a little switch back here. You know, make sure it's in the right position when you're doing that first power on, because it can be a little bit of a heart attack. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, a lot of that stuff in the back, good to go. Got a couple more main parts to put in. Of course, we got our cooling here. We're going to be using our Mine Cube. It's got 4 screens on it, and I think this will be a fun case to do a little software tutorial stream for you guys too in the future. So hopefully it works. Hopefully it turns on, it boots up just fine. And then, you know, we got storage options and everything. Like I said, probably one of the later or last things I could see a lot of us kind of throwing in towards the end in regards to that. I mean, I could mount the hard drive in there and just let it chill right now. And then once I get everything else done, we can just circle around back like they do in Counter-Strike and put that bad boy in later. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? All right. Now, 2 things that we got to do, you know, AIO, GPU, definitely say AIO next, because we don't want the graphics card more or less being in the way with the pump, you know, and all that kind of stuff. We are going to be top mounting it in there on the top. So a lot of times, like with this, you know, I already have my fans pre-installed on my radiator. I mean, of course, this is going to be going up on the top of the case like this. So we're going to have these in exhaust, so the air is going to be going up and out. And then we just got to kind of decide which way we want to do things, because you have the options. You have the options. Now, like what we talk about with a lot of cases and how everything's kind of set up. Now, if you're going to be doing like a full-length 360 AIO, and in that particular case, 360 is more or less considered the maximum size, I mean, you have a couple of things to consider. I mean, for one, with this particular case, since there's really no front panel at all, you got a lot of room to more or less go forward, but it does kind of end here with the way the case is set up. As you can see, it doesn't go all the way necessarily to the lip of the case, right? There is like a nice little cover here on that, you know, kind of gapping it out with a little plastic piece about right there, but we are still able to kind of push our AIO all the way up to like about right here on the front, right? And then the other concerns here is with the back. We do have our one back fan. I mean, we more or less, all the connections and everything are gonna be in the back, so we don't have to worry about running any particular connections. And with the fact that we got a backwards board, we don't gotta worry about forgetting to plug in the EPS before installing our AIO, because God, that it gets me so annoyed. I go, I forgot to plug the EPS in. And it's literally impossible to do when you have the AIO already in the system, because it does take up a lot of that space there on the top, and you're trying to get into a connector that's right here. Well, luckily for me, it's right there in the back, and it's not an issue. You know what I'm saying? So stuff like that. Vintage is affordable RAM. You know, you got a point there with that. You know what I mean? Like, dude, if you went like if I had like, I mean, I don't know, with like 680, what was it like? Trying to think, it was the 680i, that one chip, that was that one chipset, right? That ran dual channel DDR3, six slots, right? 3 and 3, right? 6 slots of RAM, and it was like the old like X99 style, right? Like, trying to think. Yeah, that was back when they had the SLI chip on the South Bridge, a lot of the cool little things. Dude, that was a cool board, 680i. But I don't know if that's necessarily considered vintage, though. You know what I mean? I guess being older, vintage means older for me, you know, compared to somebody much younger, you know? I'm not getting any younger, I'll tell you that right now. But still, it's fun to think back on some of the old styles. I mean, that was crazy days, right? When we were buying... Because, you know, they didn't really have memory in like a 6, you know, because it was a triple channel memory, right? So it was triple channel memory. They were selling them in, I'm trying to remember how they sold them. They said they weren't selling them in 3 sticks. It was still 2 and 2, but it was triple channel. I can't remember. I had to think about that. That takes me back, though. Could you imagine though, if like we were trying to fill 6 slots instead of 2? Let alone 4. I mean, I'm running 2 slots. I'm running 2 sticks, but I got 64 gigs. I got so lucky when I bought it. Had no idea. I don't know if I'll ever get RAM again. You know, I mean, they're already talking about DDR6, right? But like, the days of like the 4 stick situation is very difficult for a lot of people with DDR5. 2 sticks has been the sweet spot for me, which is compatibility. I mean, there's not many motherboards out there that support a 4-stick configuration. You're kind of on your own there in the wild, you know what I mean? But yeah, back on the AIO, I mean, like I said, with the fan being back here, you do have some options. I mean, one thing you can look at is, let's see how it fits. And we can already tell right here, I can't get it to fit with the fan in the back, with the tubes towards the back. Because like, if I try to get this up here in the front, it's literally hitting the fan in the back. So with like a 360, now you have some options. I mean, one thing is we could take the fan out. Actually, let's just do that a little bit to show. Baby. Oh, nothing like a little Led Zepp to get our hump day a rockin'. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Well, let's see. If we take our fan out of the equation for the moment. Let's see, it's kind of like something like that there, right? Now, let's see, with the fan out, you can see that that's going to go right up and in there, right? So you see how it fits? This is all the way forward already. I can see if I can hold this here. Kind of give you like perspective, right? But look at where the tubes are, right? Now, yeah, the fan's gonna go there, but those tubes are literally gonna hit this fan. I don't even know, you're gonna be kind of bulging the tube out like this, like form fitting around the fan. So I don't know if that might be the best case scenario for this case with the way something like that's set up. Now, of course, if you're gonna slap in like a 240, you literally got all the options in the world and you can just do whatever you want. The top can also do 280 as well, because it's not a full 140 case, if that makes sense. It's not a full 140 case, but you can do 140 on the top. You just can't, and you can do 140 on the back. You know, the case comes with 6 fans already. So it kind of like, it makes things a little different because of the fact of what it comes with already. If that makes some sense. Let me see. Let's get it like about right. Yeah, but like right there. Like a right there. And I'm just kind of holding this weird because I want you. It's for you guys. And then we just line this back up. Yeah, play around with it a little bit to see what's going on. But if anything, I hope it just kind of shows like, oh, okay, I don't need to kind of fumble around too much with which way certain things are going to go. And it just kind of gives you a little bit of perspective. I don't think tubes in the front is a bad thing. But then again, you know, mid-tower case, right? You got options there as far as, you know, like what you would want to do. But like, again, it depends on how that's going to mock up. Highly encourage you guys to kind of just do some test fitting before just like, I got to wait till I get everything to start. You know what I mean? Some stuff could change while you're waiting on some other parts, maybe exchange some other stuff. I mean, just spend the time. You know what I mean? Running Windows 3.1. Dude, I'll get, if I only had my old E-machines, you know what I mean? Vintage is anything that can't run Windows XP. 4-pin Molex coming back. No, we're not talking about Molex here. We're talking about IDE. We bring back, you can have an IDE board. Like, could you imagine going back? I mean, somebody's like, yeah, I got one right here. But going back on like an IDE thing would be pretty crazy to see what was going on. And you know, it was funny too, because I was working with our good friends over at UFD Tech, and we did this cool video with them. I mean, they called me up and they're like, hey, we want to do a retro build, but we want to do it in a new case, and we want to put something old and then change it around and put something new in. I was like, oh, that's cool. So then they did this really interesting test where they had old parts initially in the system and then did testing. I forgot what it was. This was a while ago, but it's on there. It's on UFD Tech's channel. And it was back right around when the purple Tower 600 came out, because they were like, oh my God, I need the purple. And I was like, sweet, let me get you one. And I thought they did a great job with that. It was really neat to see like old parts and then swapping over to new parts and kind of showing the before and after. I wanted more, to be fair, but I get it. You can only put so much into it. You know what I mean? Why'd you get rid of the E-machine? It's never obsolete. Oh my God, that was their marketing. I saw at Best Buy. Tubeless AIO, wireless water. Wireless water when? Wireless water. I guess once we figure out gravitational fields and force fields and everything, then we can have force field wireless water stuff. Be kind of cool. By then, PCs will probably require a nuclear reactor. Possibly. Now, remember, guys, if you're going to install the AIO, the threads on AIOs are different than most with cases. The case is going to come with screws, but for the screws that go into the rad, please use the screws that come with the AIO, because the thread is usually different, and you're going to find out the wrong way when you strip the you-know-what out of it. So make sure to always use the screws that came with the AIO. Regardless of manufacturer, you have a Thermaltake, or somebody else, just use the screws that come with the AIO. Same DIY cooling, use the screws that come with your rad. If your DIY rad doesn't come with screws, send it back. Send it back. Buy a proper rad that comes with proper mounting. But yeah, that thing can be a little bit of a sticky situation if you don't know what you're doing. All right, let's get a couple of these screws in here. I could definitely see like water becoming obsolete for cooling and something else just comes into the, I mean, you know, you look at dielectric liquid, you know, as far as fully submergible PCs and stuff, we've played around with that a little bit. I mean, it's interesting, but not practical, you know, but it could be quite interesting to see what they come up with in the future, right? Be kind of interesting to see where we would be with in 5 years, let alone 10. Where is this going to go? Think about what your PC was like 5 years ago or even 10 years ago and what you're doing with it. I know, I'm trying not to blow your mind while I'm dropping screws. I know. What the heck? It's got like a weird shift to it. I just had to loosen them up. I think I tightened those down and then, yeah. There we go. Get a couple of these bad boys in here. We don't need too many. We don't need every single one. Oh, is it Helldiver's theme? Hell yeah. Oh man, I'm so excited for the new Mandalorian. That's what I'm thinking about right now with this. This is it. Yeah, this is the Helldiver's theme, but it makes me think of Mandalorian because all this we were doing with that. Dude, I'm excited for that. That's gonna be so good. I hope it's good. I hope it's good. I really, really like that. All right. Now, we've got, I mean, of course, we got to mount the AIO and the pump. This particular AIO is a little bit different. This is the Minecube, so it does come with a 4-screen cover. Now, this guy does more or less just snap on over the top. So it does take up, it's a good amount of height there with that. But one thing to recommend, and I say this a lot because of the way it's kind of set up. Now, the screen itself, you kind of want to rock it back and forth to pop off the cube and everything, but understand that the pump itself also could kind of pop up with it. It's not directly like screwed into the water block, right? But if when you go to take this off and you take this off, this will snap back into place. It's not like it particularly broke, but I could see where it could be a little confusing because as I'm doing this here, I'm gripping the pump. Now, once it's actually installed into the case, it's kind of hard to grab this from this side while I'm removing my cube and everything. So I do like to go ahead and separate my cube. Don't want to scratch or hit one of my screens while I'm doing my install. And then of course, this will give me some nice room to kind of figure out what I'm going to do with this. But I want to kind of keep in mind, because the cool thing about the Minecube is it doesn't matter which way you go. You have any of the 4 options as far as how this is going to go on. It's not going to matter if you have Intel or AMD as far as how it matters, because this itself is its own universal mount, regardless of what mounts this way. But you do want to consider your tubes, so that way you have the ideal viewing angle for your cube as far as putting it in, because it is a chunker. It is a chunker. I know a few of you guys have won the Waffle. You guys got some of these, some others that are out there and everything. It's a little bit of a chunker. So you got to kind of think about how you're going to want to do it, because you may not want to think about doing something like this because you're just going to block all your screens. And then the tube there is going to hit because of the extended height off of the pump, right? And then there are 2 PWMs here. One is for the water pump and the other one is for this little VRM fan that is Box's favorite friend. He loves this little fan right here so much. But that's what these two PWMs are. And then on the flip side for the Cube, this requires SATA power, not Molex. Hence why I had the SATA cable initially plugged into the power supply. And then a USB extension cable to then go to the USB 2.0 header. Now, if I didn't have a backwards connection motherboard, I would have wanted to plug that in already before I even installed the fans, or in that process of taking that fan out so that I could run that and have that wire ready to go. Because my motherboard supports that backwards connector, I don't have to worry about that. But I do need to go get the connector for the USB for this because I left it over there. But let's get the pump mounted up and let's find out what's a good spot for it, right? We'll go ahead and we'll carefully lay this down on its side so you guys can see too. We got to wrap this up. We got to wrap it up. We got to wrap it up. Dude, I'm kind of liking this raised desk action here. Let's go. Whoop. There we go. Oh, I apologize. You did miss the waffle. I am so sorry, DT. You have no idea. Also, don't call me out like that, laugh aloud. My bad. Don't want to get my box angry. You know what can happen. And yeah, I just mark on the CPU because it helps us to know what it is. For testing purposes. So that little Sharpie right there is, don't worry about that. All right, let me get the screws. Cool little magnet tray for that. We need some thermal lube. All right. All right, now, before we apply the paste, what are we going to do? How do we want to mock this up? Let's see. So if we go this route with the tubes, we do have some rotary, so we can kind of move that around like a so. I mean, this is going to be kind of in the way, but like what else could we do with it, right? So if we take it, go this is a no-go facing this way because these are going to hit the screen because of the height, right? And then I don't necessarily think we would want to go that route because then we start getting all twisted up, right? Kind of come swing back over on this side. We could come down in like this. So they got some different options with it. I mean, I could see some people doing some different things like that. But I mean, it's kind of hard to get the eyeball perspective because we're top down right now, right? As far as like how you do it. But I don't know if I necessarily want these tubes kind of like front and center like this. But you got to kind of think about your options with it. But I do like that these are rotary. Kind of makes or breaks what you're going to do. If I went this route, I'm a little worried about the fans hitting the tubes up here on the top. You know what I'm saying? So I think ideally we'll go like this way, and then we can kind of play around with what we want to do with our little tubes right here, and we should still be able to get a nice little, because this is gonna be sticking up a little bit more on that, so we can go something like that. So let's get our paste in, let's get it mounted. We're using some TG30. Pretty decent. I've used it a lot. I mean, I know there's those premium pastes out there if you want to shave off a degree or two. I get it. I totally understand. Why am I even putting them in there? Let's get this mounted first. All right. The other thing we got to do is we got to think about this as far as how we want to mount this on here. This little bad boy, like this. Don't hit the camera with my hat. Give it a little smush down. I do like doing a little smush action there with that. And then we'll go ahead and we'll get these guys on. Can we have a late stream mini waffle? Oh, that'd be kind of, you want to break the waffle up instead of doing two at once? We do like one and then another one. I would feel I'd make you, I don't want people to feel like I'm trying to keep you here. You know what I mean? I do have the ultimate in flexibility And Thermaltake has been very generous for what we can do here on the channel. So I got to give them a shout out here on that. You guys don't even understand the amount of flexibility and support Thermaltake has given us here for the channel for Thermaltake Live, man. 5 years and going. We were only supposed to do this temporarily. This was just a COVID thing. But I'm just having too much fun. And I like seeing you guys each and every week too. So that's another thing too. You know what I mean? Does it fund the waffles? Well, yeah, of course Thermaltake funds the waffles. Why do you think I tell you to not subscribe? I'm probably the only one on Twitch that does. Be like, don't give me money. I want to give you stuff. I mean, that's what I've always been about. Definitely never been like the give me a sub or no waffle. Definitely not one of those guys. Definitely not one of those guys. We ain't doing any of that stuff here. That's not what my wafflers are here for. All right. Oh, look, my desk is too high now. Let's lower my desk back down. I'm having too much fun with my sit-stand desk. I should use it more, I guess. I don't know. All right. But you know what I mean? Like, cube-wise, you do you, what you want to do, how you want to do it. You know what I mean? This is just one way. This is just one way. I think we'll be able to see it. I mean, we can just pull them off to the side. But no, we got a little bit of play with them. I don't know. I'll have to figure out like what looks good, because I do like to be able to see my cube through this perspective right here. But as most of us are going to be kind of seeing it from like an angle like that. I would say a majority of us have our PC off to the right. I would say. I mean, 8 out of 10, maybe 9 out of 10, maybe 9.5 out of 10. PC's on the right side. Unless you're a tower series person, then it just doesn't matter. You can put it anywhere. And I think that's where I really like what the tower offers as far as that particular case goes, man. It's a great case. All right, now let's run our little cables. These guys, you know, you got to kind of deal with them a little bit, but they're definitely not EPS. You know what I'm saying? But I do like the fact that I don't have to route them through the back and then bring them back to the, like, loop them around because the connector's on the front. So it is kind of nice that I can just loop them around the back here. And dude, got 2 ports right here on the back. Which one's the pump? Which one is for the little fan? And we'll just plug that one in because I'm trying to remember. One of them's longer than the other. And I'm trying to remember, I think the longer cable, I don't think it says it on the actual connector. I don't think it's stamped on the connector. But easy enough. Can check it in the BIOS. Most pumps are going to run much higher, usually around 33 RPMs. So you're going to see like a 3K plus RPM for the pump, which should make it pretty easy to kind of identify it in comparison to like a case fan or another fan that you have on there. I mean, certain motherboards nowadays have an actual dedicated AIO pump header, and then that is all tied in, you know, with the BIOS, so you can see all those things. So, you know, you make sure the right thing's on the right thing. But the funny part is it doesn't necessarily matter. It's going to work in either or, but you know, the motherboard's got little special things for those kind of things. You know what I mean? We were talking about 200 fans earlier in Stream Good. Because I'm thinking about bringing, we got to do a build in that View 390. We haven't done that. And I want to get the new color. So I might be doing that after Computex. We only got 2 streams left after today. So before I go to Taiwan, we'll be on a little hiatus, couple weeks. I'm in Taiwan for like 10 days. So it's going to be a couple of weeks, guys. Hopefully not too long. And, you know, we'll try to come back with some fun, tell you about, recap for you guys, all the cool things. The only difference with like the one thing I like about CES, right? When we do the recap for CES and everything, is everything comes back here because it was in Las Vegas. So like all the stuff we shipped to Vegas comes back here to our office before all those things have to ship back either to Taiwan and or to other shows. Because that stuff will then go to like another show in Japan or Thailand or it's crazy, right? This stuff goes all over the place. But when it comes to Computex and everything, everything's there. Everything stays there. I don't get to bring back all those cases and have them like on the table like CES. So, you know, there's that. There's that. Now, one other thing I kind of forgot about was the fan cable for the AIO, because I did kind of take it off when I was talking about the magnet. So you may or may not want to try to get that bad boy in there. But at the same time, if it's just a simple little magnet like this, you just got to find out the polarities and it should just suck itself right on there. MagForce 2.0. I almost want it. No, I'm not gonna say it. I want to, but I'm not gonna say it. All right, and then we have our one back fan, this guy right here. So we got that wire was just chilling on the top, and this will be pretty good because then now we got AIO pump plugged in and fan, all that stuff. The fan connection plugged in for the 3 fans on the top, and then now all we got to do is this being the extra wires here for the one on the back, and then we'll loop it in with the ones for the AIO. Don't sabotage my build, all right? So then here's my back fan. And you know, it's got a continuate, you know, just simple daisy chain. Simple daisy chain stuff. This one has like, look at this block. This is a chonker of a, this just eats the whole thing up right here. This one's kind of crazy. Oh, wait, crap. Now I can't get it back off. There we go. Okay. Well, wait. Yeah, and we need this. Same thing like with this one. You'll get male and female. Just pop the little cover off there and everything. But like, again, I said, if you're not using it, just keep the little cover on. You don't want metal to metal contact. I mean, again, it's 5 volts, not a big deal, but still, right? So it doesn't really matter what you do as long as you plug male into female. You can't plug male into male or female into female.
Which of the following CPUs was a more pointless way to spend money? 1. 14900KS or 2. 9950X3D2.
Oh, good. You're asking the wrong channel, my friend. I thought didn't Gamers Nexus explain that last week? Didn't Steve over at GN explain that last week? The R2D2 CPU? I don't know, because like I gotta say that, like, you know, Intel with like the especially when you're looking at like 14.9 KS, right? High end on the Intel side before they went ultra. But then you compare it to the 9950 X3D2, which is like, you know, 3 gen. Oh, I guess it's 2 gens or 1, you know, from where with your Intel and everything. I mean, dude, still that 98 X3D is such a good CPU though too. I mean, it's pretty crazy, man. It's pretty crazy. All right, and then we got our PWM. Now this is going to be for the power. That's going to be the power that's going to run the 3 fans on the top with the AIO plus the one in the back. And we're just daisy chaining that one there. And same with this one. We have this nice little wire bundle. We'll fold it up really nice and pretty once we're done. Zip tie this bad boy up and in. And if you can get the camera up here a little bit, like right there, the nice little cable tie spots right here along the top, right? So you have some nice little options. I also, sorry about that. Also some nice little big cutouts here on the top to run cables through. As you can see, I really didn't have to do too much. I can take these, probably sneak them around there with this. And I mean, I can go up here and zip tie it up there or whatever. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do just yet. But the one thing I know I'm going to do for sure is let's make sure everything works first before we go and dive in further on that. You know what I mean? There we go. Hi, chat. Hi, chat. Well, yeah, I can understand that one too, man. 14900 KS beats the best X3D in games I play. And you know, I can definitely see where you're going with their Smoke on that. I could say the same thing on the other side for AMD. So I do favor either one depending on like what's my big focus. or my big thing. I think probably one of the biggest games, I mean, I guess it's not even out yet, but like one big game that I've known besides Tarkov would be Star Citizen. And Star Citizen focused heavily more on AMD than Intel. I mean, the devs talked about it, and they have and everything. And the AMD support for Star Citizen showed improvements over Intel. But then I'm not trying to get in, like, I've played Star Citizen on an Intel CPU, and I mean, it works too. You know what I mean? But it's an interesting take, you know, because you know, certain games are definitely more CPU heavy than others. Certain benefit more for game style versus other style, depending on what type of workload you want to put on it, or streaming for that matter. So there's some nice little difference. I like that you kind of got some options out there. Do some research on a lot of that. But I know you guys know, but it's more for like other people that maybe don't know. You know what I mean? Oh, it's so unstable. I couldn't even compile shaders with getting a GPU memory. Oh, well, yeah. You stretched it a little too far, my friend. You stretched it a little too far. I'd RMA it, but I don't remember which. Oh, no. Oh, no. It's okay. They're not going to check. Did you buy it at Costco? Did you get it at Costco? Just send it back 5 years later. I saw this guy. He had like an old like Mitsubishi like blow up TV. He took it back. They took it back. He had one of those old like big, you know, what were those things even called? Projection TVs? Those big, huge box TVs that was just an empty shell with 3 lights on the back that shined on a. He took that back to Costco and they took it back. I couldn't believe it. Do people do that with PCs? Like buy a PC at Costco, use it for 3 years, and then send it back, get the full refund? Like, is that a thing? Dang, I've been doing it wrong this whole time. Gotta love that return policy. Gotta love that return policy. All right, let's come back and let's get a couple of our little connectors in now that we got it. And again, nice and convenient with that dual chamberness here. I've never really seen any, doesn't matter which way, but just curious. There's a new unit. I wanted to look. I like to look. Mind the sense pins, everybody. Make sure that is in there. Now, which way are we going to run this for the graphics card here? Let's take a peek. Let's see. I mean, we really only have one kind of pathway for this, and that's through this pretty decent sized hole right here on the side, right in kind of in front of the fan. Because again, it's not coming down from like underneath the motherboard, at least in this style case, or some other cases that we have. I would say they would have that extra cutout. It would be a little bit taller, more in like a full tower type of setting. So I can kind of wrap this around this way. Now, this can go up and over the GPU. We can also explore ideas up underneath on the bottom. It just kind of depends, you know. We'll have to see what it's going to do. But let's do a quick little test fit on the GPU now with our tubes. Because remember, with this particular case, I know, and this is going way back, and I think it's just a cost down thing, but I'm kind of curious on the cost. But these little PCI, these are breakaways. So these don't have screws. All the screws, you get the screws with the accessories, but they're not pre-screwed in. And these are breakaway for the PCIe. So meaning that if you take it out, you can't put it back in because it doesn't have the... It's not like a traditional one that's got the little 90-degree bracket that more or less screws it in. Laugh out loud, the worst part is if I do RMA it and send me a new one, I'll probably just break it again. That's the fun part. I mean, ultimately, it sounds like that's your goal anyways, is to see how far you can go before breaking it. Traditional overclocker right there, I could tell. Now, we'll take our card and we'll just kind of do like a simple little mock-up. I'm not necessarily plugging it directly in, but just kind of getting it right there in the slot. And then this more or less will give me a little eyeball here as far as how many slots and which slots I more or less want to break out. I mean, if you want to break them all out, go for it. I mean, these are easy enough to get, and or you can just take one from an old case if it's the same color kind of deal. I mean, they're pretty form factor standardized. You know what I'm saying? But looking at this, we're gonna need to take out 3 of the slots there, leaving the top one occupied. We're not gonna open up the top one because the top one usually doesn't count. I see a lot of people will pull the top one out thinking that's the first one, and you got to kind of treat the top as almost like 0, where this next one is considered 1. I don't know. Whatever makes more sense for you, right? But let's see. How do we pop these bad boys out? Do I just push on this? Let's see. Let's see how hard this is. All right. So that's a little breakage right there on that one. Do I need to do anything else? Definitely feels like I could cut myself. Not a big fan of that. Let's get some like freaking needle nose were like all the way on the bottom. So I got my little picking tool right here. Let's see how my picking tool works. See if I can use these little holes right here and I can kind of just pry it back and forth just so I'm breaking that little bit of connection on there, because I don't want to bend this, but it is kind of like something I have not done in a while, because like I don't remember the last time I played around with a case that had like a breakout like this. But let's go to our good old trusty needle nose here, and we'll just get this bad boy out. Kind of wiggling it back and forth. God, I haven't done this in forever. And dude, this is really on there. Like that one was really holding tight. But just kind of simple wiggle. I wouldn't try to like rip it in one try. If you've ever kind of done a little breakaway with the metal and everything, because I know it's not necessarily something you see too much, but just kind of back and forth, keep wiggling it, and it just gets easier and easier as you go. But I think sometimes it could be like that first initial little pop, but doesn't seem to be too bad. Doesn't seem to be too bad. I mean, again, I've done a bunch of these, but it's different. I haven't done this in a long time, so just kind of, but don't try to like, because I don't want to like warp the little braces or the bars in between. So just little wiggle back and forth, nothing crazy. Just, you know, spend that 5 seconds. You can be patient, right? Spend that 5 seconds. I also don't want to hit my motherboard here a little bit too. Because sometimes you're just like, oh, I mean, if you're like me, you'd be like, all right, I know I need to take out 2, 3, and 4, or 1, 2, and 3 if you count the top one as 0. However, it makes sense for your brain, like mine. But yeah, you might want to do these like beforehand and everything. And as you can see, this is literally like what I'm doing. It's pretty brainless. It's just repetitiveness. And then once you get the one side broke, then I'm just doing the same thing here. Look, I'm doing it pretty much blindfolded in a way. You know what I mean? But it is something it is something different. I got one more here. Just there we go. And yeah, now they're just mangled pieces of metal that I can't reuse. But I'm not going to use them, so it's not really a big deal. I don't know. Like, it was a very popular thing back in the day. Again, like I said, I'm really curious on what the cost difference would be to have had that versus just putting these in with screws, because you got to consider the time for it too, right? Somebody's got to put it in. AI's not doing it yet, you know what I mean? And then yeah, three little mice, 3 little screws. We don't mind. I have 3 420 rads, and that cannot cool hot side. Yeah, I can understand that. We did testing on that too, remember? Like we've done a little bit, like it doesn't, you could put 5 rads on it, right? We didn't see, we started seeing degradation after a second radiator, because like when you added a 3rd radiator, it didn't even matter. I think is what I remember. And it kind of made me sad because I do like throwing in a crap load of rads because I think it's fun and it looks cool. You got to have a big case though if you want to do something like that. I mean, a 2 rad situation, I can completely understand, right? In a DIY use, having like a main rad on top and then having a little secondary rad down below, even if it's like a slim one, you know what I mean? And the same kind of thing goes for like those super thick rads too. Same thing goes for those. All right, let's see how this clicks in. All right. God, that's a chonker of a card, man. Chonker of a card. Let's get like 1 screw in here. Like in turntable, don't do this to me. There we go. Dude, this is like the greatest boat song ever. I feel myself just driving a boat right now. I don't have a boat though. I don't want to lose money. Okay. GPU's in. Now we just more or less have to decide. But look at all the extra room we got. Look, I mean, you could keep going with a graphics card. You even have some more thickness to do. This is a full 3 slot card. I mean, it's actually probably like a 3.25 as far as like, you know, what you're looking at for. There's more of like a back view of it. You can just see all the thickness of that GPU over there. But plenty of length in this particular case because you don't have fans or other things in the front because it's just all glass right here. Down and around, baby. All glass right there. But we got to figure out what we're going to do with this bad boy. Now, one way we can look at it is we can go up underneath like this. As you can see, so we can kind of go up underneath. But if we go up underneath, sometimes you can either have some rub on the cable with either the fan on the bottom or even the fans that are on the actual GPU. I've run into this a good amount of times. So a lot of times if your gap out here is not as big, I mean, we've covered this before with other cases and everything. But like if I come in through the top like this, we should have plenty of extra room. We just got to make sure we got, okay. We got the right side for the sense pins. And then something like that's going to plug in just like that. And it actually works a little bit better going up around the top versus down on the bottom because of where, you know, my little port is here on the side over here. You know what I'm saying? Waffle man, let's go. I like waffles with butter and syrup. I like waffles. Now, like a lot of this stuff, I've been able to do some good flexibility with the cables. I don't want to put a lot of pressure on that connector. I sure is, you know, want to make sure that I got it seated. And as I got that in there, kind of just going over a couple other things there with the case. I mean, I haven't necessarily plugged the cube in just yet either. The Cuban, got to plug the Cuban in. But then you have, you know, different options what you're going to do. You're going to get one blank plate side, right?
Hoist the joist so the GPU don't get moist.
I like it. I like it. But you can kind of decide what you want to do with your cube. The one thing I really like about this, if you have Intel or AMD, the orientation does not matter because sometimes you can rotate, sometimes you can't. You kind of get stuck like A or B, or you get some other things depending on the configuration. So this kind of eliminates that and makes it universal. You can mount this 1, 2, 3, or 4 different ways, right? And it's just, it's a square. You get 4 different ways. That's all you're gonna get. Maybe we'll make a hexagon or an octagon one in the future. It's coming to Computex 2026. But yeah, like, I mean, if I want the bottom part that's not a screen like that, then that's gonna give me that perspective all around the side and then up over the top, right? If I want to have this on the back side towards this like here, I get a screen on the bottom and it's kind of going up and around the top like this. So if I'm like coming up and around like that versus if I have it like this, you see what I mean? It's not necessarily that way. So you kind of decide which way you want to go. I personally like where the blank spot is facing down towards the GPU. That gives me a nice wrap around over the top of it. Plus, of course, I got the nice front display. I mean, most of them are going to be this one on the side towards your face and then the one in the front, you know what I mean? But either way, it's your cube, your way, ultimately, right? And I mean, you could literally just set this up here and plug it in the back and just kind of, do what you want to do. If you want to lock it in, you could lock it in. I would recommend though, running the cables first before plugging the cube itself in. So we'll go right here. Kind of not scratch the box. Do not scratch the box. He will get angry. And that's gonna just pop right back, pop on like it did. Mind the cable. Mind the cable. No, it's called Mind Cube, not Mind the Cable. It's called Mind Cube. Get that wrap. Yeah, there we go. So that's over like a deet. Pop that on. Is it like I'm holding out for a hero? All right, there we go. Then we got our cables pre-runded. We got our SATA. Plug our SATA in. Oh, and then I got to get that USB cable, and I think we're good. I think we're good after that to see if this thing is going to explode on start. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. We're going to make sure this works before we go. We're going to try. We're going to try. I got to get a cable real quick. Bam, bam. All right. Nice brand new cable. Brand new cableage right here. No, like I said, if you got a backwards connector board, this makes it super easy. You're not going to have to be digging in between the GPU and fans trying to plug this in at the last minute because you forgot. You know what I mean? So planning is important when it comes to a lot of that. We'll just tuck our cables out of the way. And then, of course, identifying our USB header cable. Don't bend the pins, folks. Don't bend the pins. Okay. And funny enough, this is the these are I don't know why we didn't go with white cables for this. I mean, the cable itself plugged into the cube, of course, is white. And another just bent, this is just chilling back here. It's not like in the front. So even though these are literally the only black cables in the case, you're not going to see them. You're not going to see them. And then we just plug in our little USB right back here and we're good to go. We just tuck it in. We can close the back panel. No one would know. No one would know, but I would. So, or we're going to have to fix this later. We're going to have to fix this later. You know what I mean? I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I got to maybe throw at least a zip tie or something on that little sense pin cable because it bugs me. I got to figure out what I'm going to do with my tubage. Yeah, I'll mess with that later. But you know what I mean? I need a cooler. You want to get cool? You want to get cool? Come see me later after stream. Do that little movie magic, just close the door, and then next week I'll pop it. I'm like, look, I left it where it was, guys. We did all the cable management last week. What are you talking about? I mean, we won't put the side panel on. We'll leave all the fun hanging out in the back there, right? But let's at least put the glass on so we get a nice, cool little display. I mean, especially for something like this. And I know Good's probably like, hey, let's see if it's gonna boot. It's probably not gonna boot. But I like to just say that to keep the suspense. Let's get this door back on it. Dude, this is such a big swing door. Oh my God. Kind of led to easy mode. Easy mode. It's kind of like now you fill it with water. Just kidding. Just kidding. You gotta get the fish acclimated first to the liquid temperature, okay? So that means we got to post it up first, all right? Now that we're all on the same page. Where's my little HDMI mizzles? HDMI mizzles? All right. All right. Doodle-a-doo-doo. Oh, ba 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 ba. Ba, 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 ba. Hope you guys are having a good Wednesday. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you guys sticking around a little bit too. Here, let's do a prediction. Start a prediction. Will it post? We'll do 2 minutes. There we go. Start a little prediction. I don't know what else I did. I don't know. I'm not the moderator. I'm just a streamer. I'm dumb. I don't know what's going on. See if it posts. We'll see if it posts here. Let me get the. All right, what else do I need to plug in? What else we got to plug in? I mean, I guess I need a mouse and keyboard. I mean, we're not gonna like boot into Windows, but we'll see. See what's going on here. Let me see. How do I want to go to this view? Yeah, we can go to this view. We can go to this view over here. Let's see. Something like this. And then, okay, and then we can switch back over here to that. Okay. Don't need it. We're just posting it up. Oh, wait, it doesn't have. Oh, you know what? Oh, cool. I just ran the USB over and I broke like 5 keys off the keyboard. Fantastic. All right. So F2 goes where escape is. F5 is F5 still. There's that one. All right. We're good. Just in case. No pun intended. No pun intended. Boys are back. 50K says no? What? How dare you? How dare you? Press F to escape. 100%. 100%. Yeah, win some points so you can do some more Waffle Mans. I could definitely do. I need a moderator. I need like an in-house guy that can help me set this kind of stuff up. My mods are amazing for what they are, but again, they're not in this office. One day we might find a new Steve. One day. But as you can see, he's been very difficult to replace. The man is a legend. The man is a legend. He is magical. And he's still my good friend after all these years. All right, let's clean up a little bit too while we're waiting on our prediction. Oh, can't believe it. Move to Miami and I got you. I mean, everybody is. Well, a lot of New Yorkers I hear are coming your way. There we go. All right. So, like I say, build the system. Don't worry too much about your cables in the back. Think it over. Kind of go like, did I plug this in? Did I plug that in? Spend 30 seconds. Spend a minute. Double check your connections. Kind of go over what you got. Go like, all right, yeah, is that 5 volt all the way seated? Did it get pulled out when I was plugging something else in? Are my PWMs PWMing? Are my waffles waffling? Things like that. You know, just kind of be like, all right, yeah, I plugged that in. All right, there. Did I put the hard drive in? I don't know. I can't remember. I think there's one in there. You know what I mean? But I can do that all for next week. Yeah, I pretty smooth build. I like the mid-towerness, the dual wide, like I was saying in the beginning of the stream. It's growing on me a good bit. I'm in the View 380 right now myself, and I've been loving it. I've been in there probably, about 6 months to a year, something like that. And that was just kind of changing the case. I didn't really upgrade or get new parts. I just wanted something different. I wanted a new box to look at, right? And I wanted some color. I've had black cases. I've had white cases for a while. I never really dipped into some color cases with Thermaltake because it was just like certain things. One, laziness. Just, you know what I mean? Like, it's not broke. Why fix it? But then I was just like, you know what? I got to do this. I got to get into a colored case. And I needed a case that was going to fit my needs. And I think when you look at a lot of like certain cases, I mean, you don't necessarily need a giant mini fridge for a case all the time. It's definitely fun to have. I've had one a couple times, but these dual chamber mid towers are growing on me a good bit. It gives me that same kind of fitment options. I got some good amount of clearance with it, especially with the power supply being on the back side because of the fact that it's a dual chamber, but no custom cooling. And that's probably the only thing been in the back of my head the whole time is just, where's my, I custom cooling would be nice, right? As far as like extra stuff. Okay. All right. Submissions are closed. 77%, meaning good, and a couple of you thought it's not going to happen. And 23% of you who will get valid Waffle entries next week, because I will be taking a log of this. Those of you said always will get an extra Waffle entry next week. No, I'm just kidding. And to be fair, I don't think I can do that. I don't think there's even a way for like once you're in on that list, I cannot go in and just cherry pick and I can't take people out. I can't even add you. You got to add yourself. It's like one of the reasons why I've stuck to this program is because it's just RNG. It sucks, but at least it's real. If that makes sense, right? There's no dipping in, there's no extra this or that. I can't even change anything with it. And I think that was one of the reasons that I really liked that. Because I thought to myself, I go, maybe somebody will look up and see what I'm doing or how I'm doing it. And when you look at some of these other programs, I mean, it's just like, do you want me to just sit there and add you into the list? Or you know what I mean? It's got to be real. It's got to be real. So hoping we can get some of that. Homer coming in with the prime. Thank you so much. Come back next week for some waffles, my friend. Get you some extra entries, bro. Yeah. All right. Predictions closed. Do you know what the difference between the circle and the line is on your power supply? Well, you're going to find out right now. We have lights. Do we have, camera? Is it working? Is it broken? Pull the trigger. No signal? Oh, Oh, the CPU and the memory changed. 3 exclamation points. Please enter setup to configure. What do I do? What do I do? I've never been here before. Oh, wait, what happened? It's supposed to. Oh, it decided for me. I guess I took too long for the motherboard. It just said, you know what? We're just going to go in here anyways. All right. All right. Now, do we have a 200 mil fan? Do we have a tower air cooler? Or do we have a speaker set up with a speaker volume remote control? Or do we just exit and just not? Well, I guess we have to pick something, right? I guess we have to pick something. All right, let's pick that. It posted. It posted. Always. Wait. Oh, wait. Chat. Twitch is asking me if I'm sure. Are you sure? Are you sure? All right. There we go. Did we take the sticker off the CPU? Where's our CPU temperature here on MSI? Let's see. Oh, it's way up at the top. Way up at the top right here. Super small. I think this should definitely be here instead of CPU frequency. If MSI's listening, you should not show the CPU frequency here in gigantic, bold, taking up what, 20% of your BIOS screen? It should be the temperature, not way up here, the smallest possible little line of whateverness. You're gonna spend some time. Why is the temperature not the most important thing when you boot up your board for the first time? Maybe they're like, well, you know, everybody that builds MSI does it right the first time always. Maybe that's their motto. I demand a recount. Oh, so you want me to power cycle the system again? He wants a recount. But yeah, taking a look at a couple of things. I mean, we'll glance over here. All right, did my 2 memory sticks show up? Yeah, they did. And look, we even got a little temperature because our memory does have temperature sensors built in. Not all memory has temperature sensors, but ours do. So we got those right there. We are at a JEDEC spec, of course, which is 4800 JEDEC. You will have your exposition or expo mode, however, whatever you want to, whatever, XMP, depending on if you have Intel or AMD, right? So you have to know which one of the ones to click, all right? So read the manual. It's important. But I'll check, you know, hey, we got both sticks in here. That's good. XMP profile 6000. That's what we got in here. So we got that good. Storage. Did our hard drive? Where's our hard drive at? Oh, I kind of forgot to put it in there. I do apologize. So I had to take that drive out because I had a bunch of testing stuff on it, and I didn't want it to boot up on stream into all that stuff. So I just pulled it out. But I'll put a drive in it for next week. Get Windows installed. We're not streaming doing a Windows installation. We're not Microsoft here. But this would be another thing I would check. Is like, hey, is my hard drive here? Kind of important. You know what I mean? Same thing with CPU. Is this bad boy 5060C in the BIOS? Or is it 30C? We had that fun discussion, didn't we, when we left the sticker on purpose? But I thought it was fun. You know what I mean? Like, a couple main things to check out. CPU temp, take a look, see where you're at. One other big thing too, guys, when you're going through this and you're looking at it for the first time, just pull your phone out, screenshot that BIOS. Screenshot that BIOS that you have right there. Screenshot that BIOS. That way you can kind of take a look at it. And, you know, you can go look up on the website, either on your phone, you got another system or whatever. Go see what the latest version of the BIOS is. Likely could be outdated. These are things that you'd want to kind of use as like a little bit of a checklist when booting up your system for the first time. But I got to say, all the fans lit up, RAM's lighting up, and our cube is cubing. do like to take a nice little note there, the little underglow action that I got going on with the bottom 3 fans there. But these are our new fans. These are our SWA Infinity fans. We do sell these separately, but this particular case comes with 6 of them inside the case with a curved tempered glass panel for $100. I mean, what a deal for a mid-tower dual chamber ATX case. If you're looking to save a little bit, it's not a big deal in regards to which and what you want to use your other parts for this or that. We have this in both black and white for $100. Easy little upgrade, give you some new lights, some new fans, some new cooling, maybe swap out a couple other parts. But definitely the one thing we're not trying to do here at Thermaltake is breaking your bank with case prices. So I got to give it up to the Vision 330. This frickin' case was pretty fun to build in. I had a pretty dang good time with this, man. It's been pretty good. And, you know, we'll play around with it a little bit next week. We got some airflow testing to do. Maybe we'll do some stress testing, see how much the glass matters in regards to our config and what we have everything set up for. You know what I mean? Not with case prices, just with everything else. We can only do so much, but at least we're trying to do our part with what we got going on there. Cyberbrain says at Thermaltake Live, Mike, you need to update that BIOS to the new microcode so the processor doesn't get damaged like goods. Yes, sir. We'll check that. But again, those are the things that are important, right? My memory showing up, is my storage there, is my CPU overheating, and what BIOS am I running? Pretty big important things to kind of check off on your first post ever of your new system, right? There you go. There you go. More next week. We're going to be diving in. More next week. Whoa, camera. More stuff next week on the Vision 330 ARGB mid-tower case. Appreciate you guys all being here to hang out with us. Case came out beautiful. Let's play around with it and have some fun next week. All right, you guys stay tuned. Stay tuned. Happy hump day. Enjoy the rest of your week. That weekend's getting closer and closer, everybody. We'll see you next time. Oh, wait. We got to change my song. Waffling up. So let's go to this one. No, wait. Where was the other one? That new one that I had. Is it this one? Yeah, whatever. All right. Happy hump day. Vision 330. Get yours today. Thanks for waffling with us. Stay tuned. We'll see you next week. All right. Laters.
Sand on the metal feet, mirage and chrome heat. One step, then 3. Sky bending like a sheet. Eyes full of copper clouds. Silver dunes ripple and sway. Every footprint lights up, guiding the herd this way. Hump day, we rise together, way up. It feels like forever, but we move step in step all the way. Hump day, hearts getting lighter, side by side. The trail gets brighter, we shout it loud. We live hump day, play. Next, sway in neon dust, slow dance, share trust.
Happy hump day, all. We'll see you later.
Turns to tiny sparks, drawing
Nice.
laughs.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Left, free, rhythm, every, even the smallest stride pulls the riser in.
waffles for.